Good evening, everybody. If you're here, you know what time it is. It's time for a Sunday night live stream at 7 p.m. Although tonight, this one's going to be a little different. This one, we're only going to be about an hour on YouTube. Then after that, we're going to cut YouTube off and I'm going to go over the Rumble. And if you want to continue with the conversation with me, you can come over to Rumble with me and we'll continue the conversation. So when I was thinking about preparing what I was going to talk about this evening, because I have been making live streams daily, sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon. So I was just thinking about what I was going to say. What's up, Carl? Looks like you're first one in here, brother. I just got a text from Brandy. She said she can about 20 minutes. She'll let me know and she'll pop in. Yeah, I agree. Carl, you want to jump in or you want to stay in chat, brother? Because I can send you the link real quick. Because I always like having verbal conversation as much as possible. Hang on a second, guys. Having a problem clearing my throat today. So this morning, I talked about what the government's afraid of. The tyrannical part of our government. They're afraid of our Constitution. Because we have two things in our Constitution no other Constitution in the world has. First Amendment and Second Amendment. And Second Amendment guarantees the First Amendment. And I kind of like that. Then I did another live stream about how the tides are changing. How MAGA is engulfing the world. It's an amazing thing to hear other countries, dignitaries and leaders talk about how the United States is leading the way back to common sense. It's a good time to be here. It's been rough. It's been a hard road. Although the road is still going to be hard for a while. Because what they've done to us in the last 4 years plus, it's going to take some time to fix. It's going to take some time to convince the people who drink the Kool-Aid on the other side that they've been lied to. That mainstream media was in on it. And everything that they were told, if they would just open their eyes, they would see the lies. How you doing, Steph? So saying that, I watched a couple things. CNN, MSNBC, bringing on these politicians and these professors and, talking about how certain things are being done when they really are lying. The narrative doesn't make sense. Even some of the stories that are like positive towards President Trump and Doge Elon Musk. All right, Carl. Hang on, brother. I'll send you that link. Give me a second, guys. I'm slow at this, so let me see here. Carl, last time I sent you a link, was it in your text or was it in a email? I can't remember. So, anyways, I'm slowing down the pace right here. Give me a second on that, Carl. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Let me continue talking and just tell me in chat how I sent it to you last time, because I believe I sent it to you before the program started, the live stream, and it's a little different than what I click on right now to send as when I'm setting up the live stream. So this Professor Lickman gets on there and tells everybody that President Trump and Elon Musk are firing everybody at the FAA. Total lie. Total lie. He froze new hires to review them to see if they were hired because of their qualifications or if they were hired just because they checked the boxes for DEI. No FAA or air traffic controllers or anybody that's on the job got fired. So that's a lie. So these people, they got that Trump derangement syndrome. Okay, guys, let me. I gotta get my email real quick, guys, and I'm gonna try to send this to Carl. And we'll continue on as trying to do my best to talk and send it at the same time. Which anybody who knows me knows that ain't an easy task. It really isn't. But I'm gonna do my best. And Carl on here. Carl, I'm almost there, brother. And Brandy, if you'll get on here, I'll send it to you too. All right, let's see if that works. All right, guys. Sorry about that. I am slow at this. Tell me if you get it or not, Carl. We'll continue on as we're working on this. Yeah, Red. Lickman definitely hates Trump. There's no doubt about it. But see, for low information people, which is what I usually call supporters of the left, not necessarily your culprits that try to spin the lies, but the people who listen to them and believe. So those low information people.
What's up, James?
Hey, how you doing? So those low information people that drank the Kool-Aid are gonna watch this news segment and believe it, believe the lies. So then you get these little, you want to call them organic protests, protesting against the things that Trump is trying to accomplish to help the country. And if you believe it, then the way they spin it is the bad outweighs the good. But we all know that's not true. It's the good that outweighs the bad. What do you think about that, Carl?
Well, uh, the good does outweigh the bad, but the one thing I will say, unfortunately, the way the human brain works is people. I always have a saying: people will always remember the bad things you do more than the good things you do. It's just it's human
Uh,
nature. But in the reality of it, like you were saying, these supposed organic protests, they're nothing but they're renamobs. You know, that's all they are. It's you still got your George Soros money out there. Yep.
hold on, Carl. Andrew, deceit is it's where you're not only telling a lie, you're trying to convince them of something that's like somebody's trying to perpetrate something on you. So it's almost the same thing as a lie, but the deceit is like Doge is just advising the president, and the deceit is they're telling you that Elon Musk has the power to cut these programs. That's the deceit. So that's what that means. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Hey, forgive me. I'll fix that later.
No big deal. Come on, man. It's all good.
I missed the I. I was in a hurry. I typed it at the last minute, guys. I was in a hurry because you have to go in and do a whole bunch of process to get the live stream started. So I'll fix that. Andy.
Come on, Andy. You've used text to talk before, right? And you've never read over what you sent, and then you look, you look, and you're like, oh, whoops. Let me fix that.
Yeah, because anybody who got the notification, they know they just got it like 3 minutes before I went live. So it's kind of in a hurry because I'm trying to post a thumbnail. I'm trying to do certain things because you have to go in and you have to open up the channels that you're going to do the live stream on, and it's a process. So I will fix that when this live stream ends and it goes to being a video. Thanks for pointing that out. Because I don't want people to think I'm ignorant, even though
nobody thinks that. Come on, dude.
Yeah. Oh no, they
well,
do.
Screw them if they do. They're not worth your time.
And there was this Lickman wasn't the only one that I seen. There was an actual congressman on CNN talking about how the Trump and Elon Musk was cutting programs for the National Institute of Health, which is the programs. Now, this is also the programs because Fauci was over this that funded the gain of function research on things like COVID. So this guy's trying to say that Trump and them are trying to cancel these things out or close these departments down. But, they're not all good, but they are reviewing what they're spending their money on. But it's cancer research, it's diabetes research, and Trump and him ain't trying to shut that kind of stuff down. You got a congressman on national TV lying.
Oh, really? You mean Adam Schiff would go on TV and lie?
I wish it was Adam Schiff because then I could make fun of him. But it was a congressman. I didn't.
No, you know what though? It's just like I said yesterday when we were streaming. Is we have Republicans running to Politico, and going over there and basically anonymously. You know how that works. Saying that what Trump's doing is reckless. And how he's cutting things, and how it's all absurd. First of all, our government is bloated, and half the people they are firing don't work. They don't do anything. There were people. I think you brought up this point yesterday. There were people that were being paid by the government, but also had another full-time job, and they were never showing up to do the government's work. Have you ever called the IRS? Have you ever called the DMV, for instance? How rude are those people to you?
Oh, yeah, they all suck. They hate
You know
their
why
jobs
they suck?
because those people have to go to
Yeah.
work every day.
But
These people that are getting on TikTok and bragging about having a
yeah,
second job or not doing anything that day because they don't have any meetings to go to, so they're going to go fishing or
but
something. It's
do you know
ridiculous.
why? Do you know why the people at the IRS they suck? Do you know why the people at the DMV suck? Because they can't be fired. It doesn't matter how they treat you. It doesn't matter the service they give you. They can't be fired. And that's the point. That's what Trump and that's what Elon Musk are trying to rid us of. Right? That's government waste. That's the government being inefficient, right? Just like the post office. Why do you think the post office always loses money, but you've got UPS and you've got FedEx that kill it because they're privately owned businesses?
Because they're bloated. They're
Yeah.
bloated. The the United States Postal Service is bloated. Now, there's another thing you talk about rude. You ever go in and like they say, if it fits in the box, they'll ship it.
Yeah.
And you go in and you get a box and you put it in there and you put the label on it, and you go up there and they weigh it and they act friggin'
Yeah.
disgusted that you're bothering them.
Yeah.
And you're already standing in the line of a bunch of people because they got these people that they just take their time. They never act like they're in a rush because they
Yeah,
don't
because they
care.
can't be fired. I mean, think about that for a minute. When you used to work, right? And in my job, like whether it be when I'm filling in on the radio or when I'm working in somebody's house, I've got to be polite to people. My job is to make sure the customer is happy, go out of my way, even if I don't always agree, right, with the customer's demands and what they ask. My job is to make them happy. Why? Well, because if I don't, I won't get paid, and if I don't, I could get fired, right?
Not only that, Carl, it's you were talking about uh, accountability or spreading word. Uh, see if I can explain this right. It's like when if you do a bad job, word of mouth sucks
Yeah.
because if you do a good job, they may tell two or three of their friends. You do a bad job, they tell everybody they see that if they want to talk about their flooring, if they go into a store and somebody's looking at flooring, oh, let me tell you, don't hire
Yep.
this guy. That's the problem. They'll tell two or three good, but they'll tell everybody the bad. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
and that's the thing. It's like, and and when it comes down to it, people have to realize that this is your taxpayer money, right? Your taxpayer money is funding an inefficient government, and your money's being wasted, right? So Donald Trump and Elon Musk look at everything like a business, right? And unfortunately, our congressmen and our senators, most of them aren't businessmen. They're attorneys or doctors, right? And half of them that are attorneys didn't practice law very long. They came right out of law school, ended up getting a job in local government, or maybe they were a DA for a little bit, and ended up getting in the government. So they've never written a check. They've never ran a business. They don't know anything about balancing, a business. They don't know anything about running a business efficiently. They know in their mind that the government has an endless amount of money, our money, right? Because think about it. When we have a recession or something, or the economy starts to go bad, what do the politicians come out and say? Well, you're just going to have to buckle down a little bit. You're going to have to try to, conserve money here, conserve money there. Does the government ever say that? No. What do? They come
No,
back and they want higher taxes. They want more of your money. They never ever look at scaling back. They always look at growing. And that's what's happened.
yeah, and now you got the Democrats on the left literally saying that it is crazy to want to give $5,000 back to the taxpayers, that it would uh, increase inflation. This is money that should go towards paying down the debt if Donald Trump and them are really doing what they say they're doing. But like Elon Musk said, so far what they found, he's only talking about using 20% of that, and they lied. Well, another person got on there and said this was a smoke screen. It's a Ponzi scheme. This is not real
Our
money. It
government.
is real money. This is money that was already allocated to the budget. This is money that has already been printed. This is money that departments are signing checks and sending out to other countries or greasing the pockets of these politicians.
The,
So it is real money. It's money that's already printed. So why not give 20% of it back to the taxpayer? And when they said $5,000, that won't do anybody any good. Everybody needs would in a good scenario is to have $2,500 in the bank for emergencies.
yeah.
And then you take that other $2,500, and those who haven't had a vacation in over
Yeah.
4 years because of the Biden
Or pay down debt. you know,
yeah, pay on
Yeah.
a credit card, pay it off. Take a vacation, spoil yourself a little bit because this is money that the government has been screwing you over, stealing from you for
well,
years.
and an honest reporter would say to that politician, so let me get this straight. So you have no problem sending money and giving money to New York City to house and feed illegal immigrants on the taxpayer dime.
up to $7,000 a month. If the New York aliens are getting $7,000,
You have no
a month.
problem doing that, but you have a problem returning money back to the American taxpayer. Explain to me how that makes any sense. Everybody should just think about that for a minute. These politicians are more concerned and Republican and Democrat. I don't care who they are. I don't consider myself a Republican exactly anymore. I consider myself an American first, America first, Donald Trump, grassroots advocate. That's exactly what I am.
I am
But
MAGA.
they have no problem voting to have money sent to other countries, right? They have no problem giving illegal aliens our welfare benefits, giving illegal aliens places to live while our veterans are sleeping on the street. They have no problem giving them money and loading their ETB cards every month. But they have a problem returning money back to the taxpayer. Think about that. That should enrage every single person in America that wakes up every day, punches a clock, goes in at 5 o'clock in the morning, and busts their butt. That should anger you to no end. It should make you mad enough that you should seek out every politician that is against this and primary their ass.
Absolutely. And like I said, we have a homeless problem right here in this town where I live. But it ain't one foreigner that's not homeless. These are all local individuals that can't get the help because there's no money. Why is there no money? Because they're giving it all to the illegal aliens and the legal aliens. Because here we have to claim that they're legal aliens because they were brought in on temporary protected status. So the politicians that lean left around here and the locals, believe it or not, because they are attached to them by the purse one way or another, want to holler about this, saying that they're legal, that it is a sin to say that they're illegal aliens. To me, they still should not have been here. They were brought here on an illegal process.
Didn't Kristi Noem just rescind all that temporary
Well, I
visa
did
status?
hear that, Carl. But the executive order was signed for it to end this August, which is a year early. Because Biden extended it another 2 years. So Trump is killing it this August. Because remember last year of Biden's administration in August, he added 109,000 to the numbers of the temporary protective status. So it would allow people who walked across the southern border illegally to file the application to get temporary protective status, and they gave it to them.
But
they broke the law coming here by crossing the border, and they gave them temporary protective status. Tell me how
they have no intention. Well, the Biden administration and your mayor and the corrupt governor of Ohio have no intention of ever removing these Haitians. You know that. I know that. They're going to have to be forced into it. Just like here in Allentown, there was a city councilwoman in Allentown, Pennsylvania, that her name is Cece Gerlach, and she wanted to put forth a bill to try to shield the illegal aliens against the Trump administration. And she's going to have a town hall at the city council, and I'm going to go down there and I'm going to ask her, okay, Cece, so if I'm homeless and I have a family and I break into your house and I start eating your food and using your electricity, are you going to call the cops on me? Of course she is. Of course she is. Because I broke the law, and there's no damn difference between me breaking into somebody's house because I'm homeless and living in it than an illegal alien crossing our border and abusing our resources, abusing our welfare system, putting tension and stress on the schools that are already crowded, making it more difficult for our kids to learn. See, the politicians, they don't care about any of that. No, what they're worried about is CNN going to call them a racist if they stand up against this? Is MSNBC going to call them? You know what, politicians? Nobody's watching them anymore. Nobody cares about Meet the Depressed. Because that's all it is. It's a bunch of depressed liberals and depressed rhinos that go on there and whine. What the rhinos need to understand is it's no longer the Republican Party. MAGA has taken that over, and we run it now. We run it.
Amen.
You said Brandy might come on?
That's why I say, Carl. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Could you send her that link? She'll probably want it in text.
I'll send it to her. I got you, bro.
Yeah, the way I've got it right now, I can't do it.
I can do it for you.
I'm still a beginner. I suck at this. I'm not a tech genius.
It's not even about that. It's
But Carl, you're right. I've called myself a Republican ever since I was in junior high school, believe it or not. But I don't say I'm a Republican anymore. I say I'm MAGA. Because there's a difference.
Jump on.
When you're MAGA, you're a true patriot. You really are concerned about this country. You're not concerned about the party. If a Democrat has a good idea,
look at RFK.
I say they have a good idea. I don't say they don't because it's not in my party that had that idea. That's where the problem lies in our government as we see it. That's why Congress is broken. Because even if it's a good idea, and they know it's a good idea, if it's the other side of the aisle that brings it to the forefront to be voted on, a bill or whatever, they'll vote against it because it's not their bill. It's stupid. It frustrates the hell out of me.
It's like I said the other night. Any of Trump's policy, anything Trump is for, the Democrats and the rhinos are automatically against, right? It's like a crucifix to a vampire. You know what I mean? Their heads start to deform and melt as soon as you bring it up. I had a MAGA hat in my Jeep Wrangler, right? It sits right on a thing on the dashboard, right? Always there. I was pulling into a parking lot and there was this libtard in the Subaru in front of me. I pulled in. She looked at the MAGA hat and then looked at me. Hey, Brandy, and you should have seen this woman's face. It was demonic.
What up, girl?
It was demonic.
Really? I find it funny, like when I wear my Trump hat or whatever, and these people give me that, you know how they'll do the little squinting of the eyes,
Dagger
like they're
eyes.
disgusted what they just saw, and they cannot believe you wore that in public. Now they're too pussy to say something to me because I'm kind of a big
I don't leave my house without a Trump shirt
But
on.
if I was a little person,
I don't leave my house without a Trump shirt on. I haven't in months. I purposely changed.
I know.
Look at my Trump dance shirt.
You're loud and proud. When it comes to Trump and MAGA, you're loud and proud. That
You
is
know, I
true.
keep finding my front yard flags pop up on YouTube videos again out of nowhere. They're sneaking down the street and parking beside my yard and filming my flags and then taking off. And then
Really?
earlier when we left to go to the store, I found one of my Trump flags half ripped off my pole.
Well, I think our local council is looking for all Trump supporters because they know we're the troublemakers when it comes to
Oh,
the Haitian
no.
issue. Yeah, so I still have my Trump stuff out in my front yard.
I got
so
brand
that's
new
good.
ones ready to go up. I'm gonna I gotta cycle them, and I got new ones every few months.
My wife said to me the other day, she's like, "Are you gonna take that Trump sign down?" I'm like, "Yeah, when he's out of office." Yeah,
When it's time to vote for somebody else.
yeah, 4 years, I'll take it down, no problem. Till then, I'm rubbing that shit in, bitch. We won. We won,
right.
baby. We won. Suck it up, stick it in your pipe and smoke it. I don't care. I love it. And yes, I will gloat. I will gloat till 2028, baby, every day.
I purposely leave my flags out because I get a lot of deliveries.
Sorry
And
about cursing, James. I forgot.
almost all of them are from Haitians
Oh,
anymore.
it's all right.
So I'd like them to know whose house they're pulling up to every time they make a delivery.
The Haitian. Do they do the Instacart?
They do DoorDash, Instacart, and they have gotten now that he's won. They'll stop at the end of my driveway. They'll call me. They run up to my house and run back so afraid that like they're scared of me. So I purposely leave all my flags in my yard for that main reason.
Well, I'm scared of you.
I'm not scary.
Hell, I'm all the way here in Pennsylvania, and I think I'm a little afraid of you. I mean,
I don't leave my house enough for anybody to be afraid of me.
how you doing, Brandy? I miss you.
I'm getting there. It's been a rough few months, really. Once my plumbing did the thing that it did, it was just like a. But it's getting better. I've been spending like the last week trying to reorganize my house before my husband comes back in and destroys it all.
Well, that's what we
And,
do. We do that the best, Brandy. I am the most disorganized person
My husband is a hoarder. He's
on the
just a hoarder.
planet.
But my house looks a mess right now because I've dug everything out to put it all back.
Yeah.
But now they just told me they're coming home like 3 days early, so I got a speed clean for the next 3 days.
Uh-oh. James, you better get over there and help her.
I can get it done. I clean at nighttime.
There's nothing
Nobody's
I
up
can
when I
do.
clean.
She won't allow me to do nothing.
You little girl. Go.
Yeah, there's nothing I could help on that. She wouldn't allow me anyway.
See?
She's kind of
That's I'm that person that's like, nobody helps. But if they're helping, I'm like, you're doing it wrong. Get out of my way.
Yeah, that's my wife.
What is
Sometimes
it,
I got
what's that
OCD.
called?
yeah.
OCD.
Sometimes I do it wrong so I don't have to do it. So she'll just
Yeah.
be like, hopefully
My
she's
husband
not
was
watching.
doing That, but no, it's not. He just, no. Some people are just not taught how
Yeah.
to keep clean.
You know, guys, I did a live stream the other day about the Google trends about the Washington, D.C. area, Maryland, Virginia. I don't know if you've seen that, Carl.
I did. I caught some of it. Yep.
But it was about the Google trends of what was spiking. Well, number one spike was looking for criminal lawyers in the D.C. area. Unfortunately, number two was suicide or unaliving themselves. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then
I don't really feel bad for them.
they were
I'm going to search
they
it
were
and see what it
Google
is right
searching
now.
fraud. So they were Google searching fraud.
Because they think.
So,
They-
but you know, there's another trend you can look at, and we looked at it here. So you don't have to necessarily do Google search. You can do real estate. Zulu. There's 7,000 homes that went up for sale in the last 4 or 5 months, and the prices are dropped 10% on an average of the homes for sale. And then the other trend that you can follow is U-Haul rentals. Now, California has been number one for one-way U-Haul rentals because you can rent them going one way where you don't have to return them back to where you rent them from. Especially, if you move out of state, you drop it off at a U-Haul dealer wherever you're going to. So, saying that, Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, if you combine them as a group, it's number 2 in the country for U-Haul rentals.
I mean, First of all, you just got fired. They just cut the federal workforce, right? I mean, it was just today. They 2,000 of the employees from USAID gone, cut, right? And the other ones have all been put on leave, right? So that means
But they'll say there was like
yeah. So that
9,000
means
of
it's
them.
done. They're done. USAID is going to no longer exist as we know it. Thank God for that.
Well, you don't need 9,000
We don't even
employees
need it.
to to be the accountant for these foreign aid
Yeah.
issues. You don't need look. Congress is the one that's supposed to agree to that. What happened here is USAID said to Congress, "We need this many billions of dollars." Congress never asked what is the money for. They just know that they're going to get their kickbacks. So they say, yes, we'll give that to you. And then it's up to you, unelected bureaucrats, your employees of that, which are left leaning, obviously. You spend that money how you see fit. And they throw on these ridiculous titles of the reason why they wrote these massive checks. And I think they did it as a joke, to be honest with
Who,
you. I don't think that money actually went to almost anything that they claimed entitles
who's
for
in
What?
the
or for.
comments right
I
now
just don't
saying
think
that
they
you guys
did.
are spreading lies?
Spread Kim. What are we spreading lies about?
Because she's awfully fired up. That was like 4 comments in a row, which they get fired up easy,
Go
but
ahead, Kim. What are we spreading lies about?
you could Google everything they just said. It would tell you about it.
She wants you to. She wants you
What
to
is the
send
lies
her a
about?
link.
Oh, here we go. Learn to read the documents. Which
A link to
documents did
what?
you read?
Hey, Rusty Nuts. What's up, brother?
What documents? You can Google search anything I just said.
I quit doing. I
This is
quit doing their homework for 'em months ago.
Yeah. Well.
Show it or shut up. Like
Well.
say exactly what it is. We're not going to go search documents or shut up.
I have lived here in. Well, all right.
okay. You can do Zulu, which is a real estate
Well, it's
website.
not only that.
You
You
can
can
look.
see the price of houses are dropping in DC, around the DC area, around the Richmond
The DC
area.
area. It's not just one
You
county.
can
Yeah.
see the prices are starting to drop for the first time. Why?
That's what
Jesus.
my point exactly. Google is
Hey,
so bad, but
you could be exactly correct on that. Get off
hey, that
Google.
was my point.
Unfortunately,
Google's so bad, but
it's
even
the
Google
search.
will tell you the same thing right now. That's how true it is. You don't have to look for it. Even Google will tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And I don't trust Google for nothing.
No.
So just because you live there, does that mean you know everything that's going on around there? These are things that are on the internet and they're being reported by mainstream news. This is not just me saying it. This is mainstream news saying it, and then I double check it by looking at these websites. So
Yeah,
it's
Kim.
not just coming from
Kim, we
James.
know it's
It's coming from.
spring.
Go ahead.
No,
I'm
no,
sorry.
sorry, James. We know it's spring. We know houses go up for sale. Duh. We know that. It's not quite spring yet, though, right? It's still February. I work I do hardwood flooring, so I kind of know the trends of when people start to sell their house. They start to fix their house up before they sell it, and people don't start to fix their house up to sell it till somewhere around the middle of March into May. Right? We don't look at the mainstream media. We don't. What are you talking about?
You could go check
I
Joy Reid. Oh, wait a
I
minute. She
look
got
and then I
fired, didn't she?
research. Kim, Kim, are you a government employee? Because unless you are,
Who is on MSN
these are
and all that?
trends that they're saying their government employees are doing. These are searches that are happening.
Yeah.
This is Google is. I mean, why would you not? Google is a left-leaning type entity, so why would they put something that sounds negative to the left if it's not something they actually should report because it is exactly what trends are. So I mean, I don't
Well,
understand why you think it's a lie. Loudoun County, Virginia is booming. It probably was up till just recently.
or maybe
These are
it's because
trends
all
that are
the
just
maybe it's
spiking.
because
These are things that are just spiking
it's
right
because
now.
all the MAGA people are coming in, take over
Or
the
because
damn
people aren't
government.
afraid to spend money anymore. They know it's going to get better. Let me
Retired.
see
Let's
here.
talk.
All right.
Okay, so you're retired. So I, you should obviously know that this stuff is recent, very recent. So it may not be effective or exactly right where
Kim wants
you're
you to
at,
send her a
but
link.
in the okay, well, I don't know how to send you a link. You'll have to
Post
maybe
post
if
your
you'll
email.
email Carl, yeah, email Carl or something, and
Yeah,
maybe he can send
post.
it to you because I don't mind talking to you about this
If
because
you
this
have to talk, you
information
can't
is coming
scream.
from the left leaning mainstream news, not James
Yeah,
on
post.
Empty Pockets channel. It's not just me. I'm just reporting what
Put
they
your email
say.
in the chat. Brandy will send it to you.
I don't know how to send it through. I'm not on my email.
Oh,
The phone that I'm on is my email. That's why I had you text me the link.
oh, okay. Hold
My
on.
laptop's dead. I haven't been on it in like 2 months. I need to charge it up.
All right, Kim. I'm gonna post my email in the live chat, which I'm probably gonna regret, but that's okay. I don't care. You okay with this, James?
I believe besides
Yeah,
one
yeah,
person,
yeah.
everybody else seems pretty chill. You should be okay.
No, I have no problem. I have no problem getting into a discussion on these subjects because I'll tell you, I I welcome a conversation. You may have information I don't have. You may I am not a person that says I'm right no matter what. But I can tell you this information that I'm giving you has come from mainstream news and the actual Google search.
All right, Kim. There you go. Now listen, Kim. The last time I did this, and I sent my email to a liberal, I woke up every day to a freaking
Oh
book,
no.
a
Yeah. Oh
freaking
yeah.
book every
Okay.
morning.
And
So
we're on YouTube, so don't
Andy.
come on here
yeah,
screaming and yelling.
so do me a favor.
Yeah, Kim, I don't think you're left leaning. I really
You
don't.
can.
But I think you're just you sound offended because it's the area that you live in that we're talking about, and I get it. But you know, Loudoun County, they've been in the national news for a long time because it's a screwed up county to live in if you're a parent or anybody who's right leaning at all. So
I don't know if my email
you know,
popped in there. I posted it in the
I didn't
chat.
see it. I didn't see it.
Let me try it again.
No, Kim, I didn't say he was. I'm just thinking that you sound a little like emotional about it because you live there, and I get it. You may not see these
I
trends
I
right
posted
away.
it
It's
again, so I
okay.
don't know why.
I mean, the only if the only information you can go by, let's say the real estate market, the Zulu, uh, all of a sudden there's a spike in homes for sale. 7,000 homes for sale in the DC area. That's apparently, according to the mainstream news, that's not typical. And the pricing has dropped for resale to get a quicker resale. That's not me saying that. That's CNN and MSNBC and actually going on Zulu, the website itself on real estate sales. That's them saying that, not me. I'm just reporting what they're saying. Carl, I don't think it went
Yeah,
through
I'm
her.
trying to.
We need to get her
I'm.
on here because I am since she lives in Loudoun County. I'm
I
very curious to talk to her. That'd
I
be
tried to break
awesome.
it up and send it that way, but it's not. Are you guys seeing my email in the chat?
No,
Hmm. Yeah,
uh,
I don't know. Um,
I can't. I don't think I can type it in because it won't let
yeah, all
me
right. I'll
send
just tell
anything
you,
or
it's
write
Carl with a C. So Carl the letter B, 743 at gmail.com. Carl with a C, right? Carl with a C, the letter B, 743 at gmail.com. Shoot me an email, Kim, and I'll send you the link. More than welcome to have a conversation with you.
Plus, I have to watch CNN and MSNBC because
I mean, that's
I have to
I
dissect
say
their
you
lies.
can't watch in an echo
And
chamber. You have to watch them all,
and,
unfortunately.
and when they when they talk about something that's actually negative towards their group of people, the left leaning people, it almost hurts them to have to talk about it. So if they're saying it, then you have to look at it and think, oh, it's kind of leaning toward, yeah, it probably is true, or else they wouldn't report it if they didn't have to. But it was information that was so overwhelming that the news outlet felt like they need to make a story about it. So that's all I'm saying. So I have to watch these left leaning news channels because I have to see what they're lying about, and then I have to see if what I tell you, Carl. I automatically assume they're lying, and then I research it to see if I can find any truth in it. These trends are true. These Google searches
yeah,
are
for
true.
some reason.
This Zulu real estate
Excuse
is
me.
true. This is not nothing I made up.
Yeah, for some reason it won't let me post my email in the chat.
Would you just type in, because it won't let me do it, emptypocketsgarage@hotmail.com?
Mm-hmm. At Hotmail? Or
Hotmail.com. And isn't that what you send?
Yeah,
What's my email address?
Yeah, it's Gmail, but it won't let me post any email in the chat. I tried two different ones of mine. I'm going to try to break it up, though.
I apologize, Kim, because I don't know what's going on, why it won't let us post this in the chat, because it's done it before. I don't know what the deal is. I had a hard time getting the live stream set up tonight, so there may be a glitch in my system.
Now, it's just, it let me say hi, but you see, I can say hi, but it won't let me post my my email in there. I don't know why. All right, so it's just going to be CarlB743, and then the rest will be at gmail.com. How about that? All right.
Yeah, while we're waiting on that,
keep on going.
That. I mean, it is what it is.
All right, so
what I said is information that I've got from outlets, more than one, because what I tell you, I look for 3 different outlets, whether it's the news and plus internet. Like if it's like I say, Zulu or Google Trends, something like that. So I checked that. That's what I found. So you can say I'm lying. That's fine. But that means you're telling a whole bunch of other people that they're lying too. And that is possible. But I have to go with the information that I found. So
I go with this groundnews.com. If you guys have not heard of it, I'm obviously not nobody to be sponsored, but this right here gives you all the news outlets from the left and the right and the center. And if you really want to see if something's true or how it's going, it'll show it to you from both sides and the center on one website. It's very, very handy.
Okay. I mean, Brandy has a binder, so I trust everything she says.
Hey, my binder's probably a few weeks behind. Stuff turned out, it needs organized, but I was working on my house. But I do have 5 binders.
There you go. All right, so Kim, it's CarlB743 at gmail.com. So you got the first half of my email. I couldn't put all of it in. But you can shoot me a link, and I'll shoot you over the Restream link.
And if I have to keep muting my mic here and there, my dog's going to keep barking at a train going by.
You got a train?
We'll touch back on this when she can get logged in. But Also, guys, talking about MSNBC, did you see where Joy Reid got
That's what I
fired
just said.
today?
I said she could call Joy Reid, but she lost
Oh,
her
did you?
job. So,
Yeah, she just
and the
lost her
View will
job
be next
today.
because I believe within the next month they're going to start getting lawsuits coming in on all the crap and lies that they tell every day. Like somebody at some point is going to start suing them. Like,
Well, the person who's in charge of the View now, I don't know what her name is, but she already told Joy Behar and them that they need
I
to
know,
get off the anti-Trump and be more
which is the
positive
first step.
in their reporting of their information
I
on the
don't
View.
think it's possible
So
for Joy
let's.
not to say Trump's name. I don't think it
Well, I
is.
think Sonny Holston is probably going to blow a gasket and probably quit on air sometime in the near future out of
She
protest.
may have to flee the country with her husband since he's facing all those felonies.
Yeah, but you know,
You
people
mean
like
you
that
mean
never really get
Sonny
talked about when
Hostin's
something else.
The
husband?
bit, yeah,
You
Yeah,
mean
that
the?
you didn't
Oh,
know
I knew
about that
about it.
the one she
Yeah,
doctor.
snitched on
insurance
live on the
fraud.
View. She
Insurance
literally
fraud.
snitched on him. Like
Yeah, definitely insurance fraud.
All right, Kim, you're gonna have to try it again because I never received your email. Just to let you
Joy
know.
is one of those, but Sonny is the biggest one of those on that show.
I mean,
See, I tell people all the time, y'all hear me at the end of my live streams. If you want to come on, shoot me an email. My email is in my bio of my Empty Pockets Garage channel. You can shoot me an email during the week, and it allows me to set up sending you a link while I'm setting the live stream up.
Yeah, I don't use my email that much.
I always want to do it ahead of time because I have a hard time doing it on the fly
yeah,
if everything else we're trying to
you
do
can
ain't
see I
going.
didn't receive any email. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I didn't receive any email from you, Kim. So you would have to resend it.
But
Check your junk mail.
but you can send me
That's what I always get told.
something, during the
Oh,
week
okay.
if you want to come on and be a
Good
guest,
call.
and we can have these conversations. So, we'll, but moving on,
Dun, dun, dun.
I watched the interview. Did you guys see the interview with Zelensky
I
today?
have not got to that yet. No.
I have not got to that either.
Okay, so they were asking how come he was cowing down to Donald Trump,
He
right?
has no choice.
So he said, and we're talking about having the being able to have control over the minerals, precious minerals in Ukraine. Which at first he said no, and then now he says yes. But reason why he said yes is because he said if it guarantees that the United States will come in and protect their assets by putting military bases in Ukraine, they don't have to be a part of the UN because the U.S. military will protect their country because we have assets there. It's in our best interest. So he said if that's what the United States is willing to do, that's why he said he would agree to it. And he said he also, if it meant him stepping down as president to broker a peace treaty
I've
with
seen that.
Russia,
Yeah.
he would do
Yeah,
it.
I heard him say that he would step down as president if Ukraine could become part of the. Why is it slipping my brain right now? The
UN.
UN, yeah, the
Well,
United
how
Nations.
many
Yeah,
options does he really have? Isn't
but they already but
he knows he's out the door? So now he's going to try and
what
make it like he's
what
offering.
I seen him say was if it meant a peace treaty with Russia, that he would do it in the best interest of his
Yeah,
country.
Kimberly, I did send
But
it to you. Then I
also,
did send it. Check your email.
if if we have an agreement with them with the precious metals, the minerals and stuff that they have, then we would put military bases in there just like we have in Germany and other places. So they wouldn't have to be part of the UN. We would have a treaty with them to protect them militarily, to protect their own
Well,
assets. So it would be a mistake for Russia to try this again if that comes to pass.
yeah. Well, what I say is
Yeah,
yeah,
NATO.
NATO.
Sorry.
Sorry, my brain is. I'm functioning on a Sunday brain right now, so.
Hey, when you do as many live streams as we do, it's not hard to forget
Hey, this is
something
the
because
first one I've been on
we
since
talk
election
about
night.
so much stuff.
That's right.
We talk about so much stuff that happens.
Well, what I say with the situation with Ukraine is,
Hang on. I think she just
all right,
popped in. Let me go and find
go
her.
ahead. The reality of it is with Ukraine,
You there, Cam?
you got to unmute. You got to unmute your mic.
I know. I'm trying to figure it out. Hang on a second, guys.
There you
Hold
go.
on.
I can
I
Yep.
say I
hear
hear
you.
you.
Turn your camera on.
Yeah. She doesn't have to turn her
No, I
camera
live
on.
Oh,
She
okay.
don't want you guys.
That's all right.
We've been cleaning out stuff. But you guys can hear me.
You're good.
I can
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
can hear you.
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna tell you what,
So
I
go
love
ahead.
all
Give
this
us
conversation.
your impression of this.
I
What's
love all
that?
this conversation.
Oh, absolutely. So give us your point of view of what we were
All
talking
right, so
about.
let's go back to like what's going on in Washington, D.C. And when they talk about that, there's an outlying area that's called Northern Virginia. And so there's counties in Maryland and Virginia that outline DC. So the first thing I want you guys to know, I've lived here in Northern Virginia all my life, and I'm going to be 61 in April. And my husband just turned 70. He's been here all his life. His family has been here since 1660. So I get a little like up in arms where we're not all like we've lived here all our lives. And so yes, home costs are going up. But in Loudoun County, which has had the history of the richest county in the
Right. It's described as
Hey,
that all
Kim,
the time.
can I ask you a question?
you sure can.
You're going to vote for John Reed, right?
Well, hang on. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not sure who he is.
Okay, he's running for assistant attorney. Yeah, I think he's running for assistant attorney general. I think in Virginia. Let me look right here.
Hang on. All right. So
So you're gonna vote for Winston Sears, right?
absolutely, without a doubt.
And then he would be the assistant governor, I think, or something like that, or whatever the hell it's called. My brain's not functioning. I'm sorry, Kim. The only reason I know about John Reed is he's a former radio show host from out there.
All right. So Bill and I believe, my husband and I believe, Red, White, and Blue. We watch all the issues. I'm gonna tell you what, it's not even like a great thing to even fly American flag where I live right now. That's how blue it is, and that's how.
That's a shame.
Let me tell you, that's how blue and how many migrants sit where we sit. And so I'm just saying to you guys, we started off. So all right, Stonebridge. You talked about the high school where the whole thing started in 2021. I can throw a rock and hit that school. My youngest daughter graduated from there 25 years ago. So I can talk to you about all that kind of thing. But I want to go back to the real estate values. So I watch this all the time. And so in our county, which you guys know, there are no cheap home values. So I'm going to say this to you guys, and you guys are going to laugh. But under 700,000 in my zip code, there's only 2 homes. And I know that sounds crazy. My father hunted on all this land. My dad was a hunter. He was a Marine. He owned a body shop. He took care of every human being everywhere for everybody. And we still try to do the same. It's not the same neighborhood we woke up in. And that's why I love you guys. Because I kind of love to come to your guys' neighborhood. Because what we're living in is not like the hood we grew up in. But I just want you guys to be realistic. Not everybody that lives in Northern Virginia, there's still some old schoolers here. My husband doesn't want to leave. He wants to do genealogy, and so we're going to stay here. And so
That's
there's
not
a
no
lot going
different than being from where we're from, and because we are Trump supporters in this town, since all the publicity we got, we're all deemed racist. You're going to get, unless you're in the town that you live in and you know all the facts, you're going to get a scared view sometimes.
Well-
Yeah. Plus, Ken, I'm sure you hear me say, I don't ever say it's everybody. It is a trend that we're following. So there is a large amount of government employees in this area. Am I not right?
All right, so that's a great point. So Governor Youngkin put out the other day in Virginia. This is Virginia. There's 140,000 government employees. Now, that's government employees. That's not subcontractors. That means AT&T, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman. I could go on and on and on and on. My husband was a subcontractor. He got ripped. Not quite a year ago.
So you don't think with them clearing out the federal government and the federal workers, you don't think that you're going to start to see homes in the Richmond area and in your area? You don't think you're going to start to see the value plummet because people are trying to offload them?
I think it's going to be a certain there's going to be a price point. Does it make sense?
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to go from 700,000 to 300,000, but you could go from 700,000 to 500,000.
No, I think it's going to be more like the 900,000 plus that are going to see a plummet. Yeah.
Well, all I was saying earlier, Kim, was there is a recent you see spike when you look at trends. You see spikes and you see lows, and all I'm saying is recently the homes that recently went on sale on the market averaged 10% below value because it looks like a trend of they're trying to offload them because they don't think they're going to be there in a few
All right,
months.
so many of them have multiple homes. Many of them have multiple jobs. But if you guys want to watch the real estate in our area, I'm going to give you a guy. His last name is Sachs Realty. He is very present in the Northern Virginia area, and he puts out lots of forecasts of what's going on. It's Sachs, just like Saks Fifth Avenue, Sachs Realty.
All right, I wrote it down.
All right.
Anyway.
Sorry, I have a disobedient dog who every time I unmute my mic is barking on cue.
Do you know what I was doing prior to this? I have a disobedient dog too.
She's been sick for
Brandy.
a few days, so now she's getting all of her energy back.
So Sunday nights and Saturday nights, I do a virtual dog training with my dog Theo because he's a demon. He's a good demon though. He's very obedient, but he's really bad when you take him for walks, and he's really bad when people come over. But otherwise, I can train the dog to do anything, right?
My dog is afraid of the outside.
Well, that's a problem.
She's afraid of the outside.
I had a freaking possum in my damn backyard.
Right. If you guys want to talk dogs,
You guys need to control your dogs.
but I'm saying,
What's that?
See, told you.
don't just watch mainstream media. That's why all of us got off mainstream media and went to YouTube. And Pockets, that's how I found you. When the crap was going on in Ohio and JLR was there, I found you, been watching you, appreciate you immensely. But yeah, get off mainstream media. You're not doing yourselves any favor.
I don't watch mainstream
Well, like I
media
say,
for my news
Kim,
information.
I watch them. I watch
Right.
them anticipating on them lying, and then I research it to see if there's any
Basically,
truth in it.
yeah,
So it's a reversal research kind of thing. So I do it because I want to be as best informed as
exactly.
possible. Because
Yeah.
you're on here, and this is recorded. I don't delete what I put on the air unless YouTube makes me delete part of my
That's not bad.
recorded live streams. Otherwise, I get a strike. Sometimes we have conversations on here that is not community uh, friendly, but I'm going to run. I'm on Rumble, so you guys need to
Well,
go
if you
over to
guys
Rumble and
ever
follow
want
me on
to
Rumble
get to
because
the point of talking about Loudoun County Public Schools, which has been all over the news,
I haven't seen anything
yeah,
about that.
it's
well, then you've been
oh
asleep for
yeah,
a
that's
long
I
that's
have,
time.
how
like,
the
literally, I've spent the
domestic
last 3 or 4
that's
days
how domestic
organizing my
terrorists
house.
got started with the parents being
I
deemed
I
domestic
Okay, yeah,
just
I'm
terrorists of
behind.
the Loudon
I just did an interview with Chap Peterson and what's the other guy's name? Joe Marcy, both from West Virginia, on some of what was going on in Loudoun County. Tune into the John Fredericks radio show, Kim. I know
All
he's
right.
got stations in your area. You can also
All right.
check him out.
You have my email. Send those to me. But
Yeah,
you
I'm
know,
Okay.
usually I'm
I
usually up
re-
on the news stories like that. I've just been busy in my house the last few days trying to get stuff done, so now I have fallen behind, and I need to definitely do some
Okay,
catching up.
okay.
Kevin, let me ask you a question. So you disagree with the real estate thing? I get it. That's fine. What about the rest of it? The trends, and they're Google trends about the researching in criminal lawyers, researching for unalive. People are researching. I can't say the word because we're on YouTube, and researching the word fraud. These are all spikes, and they all are in the DC area. And then the other trend is one-way U-Haul rentals can be tracked. Next to California, the DC area is number 2 in the country right now. I mean, this information is stuff that's readily available to everybody, and it's not just my point of view.
Yeah, I don't think I'm arguing any of that. I'm just saying, if you're going to talk about my county, which I've lived in for most of my life,
Oh, we're gonna talk about your county. Just wait till you get off. We're
I was
gonna.
about to say we had to deal with people
I'm
talking
just
about
messing
our
with you.
county and our city and telling
That
us
is
what they
not
thought
true.
was true
Stop
when
it,
we lived
guys.
here. And we
I'm
told
just.
people what was happening. We still got called liars in our county.
I am
It's
never
going
going
to
to
happen.
call. I'm never going to call anybody a liar. I just want to.
We
I
got
want
called
to
liars
help.
by millions of people in mainstream
No,
media, even though we live here. I mean, I know what you're talking about because that's what happened to us.
if I said a word that was offensive, I apologize.
No,
You
Um,
defend your
no, 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 no,
county
no.
like we
I
defend our
want your
counties.
point of view.
well, I'm not.
I want your
Hang
point of
on,
view.
I'm not even there to defend my county necessarily, but I
Have
do
Have
want
you noticed
facts.
a Have you noticed a difference in that county since Trump won? Have you been into DC? Have you driven into DC for like CPAC or anything?
No, but I did go to J6 vigils.
Okay. So have you noticed a difference in that area? Is it more positive, more negative?
No, not no. I mean, no, not in Loudoun County. No, I mean, no. It's so blue. It's like it's not even. It's
I
not
was
even
gonna say
purple.
that county is
It's
super
so.
blue.
It's like the deepest blue. It's not even navy. It's like freaking like.
It's ultra
Yeah, there
blue.
you go. Thank you. That was a great word.
Hey, you you're definitely a minority where you live.
I
There ain't no
am.
doubt about
I
that.
am.
But yes, I want if you have a difference of opinion what I'm saying, I always want to hear it. You hear me if you watch my live streams, I say it all the time. I want you to come on just like you're doing right now because it's better than trying to type stuff in chat. And I like having that conversation because I could have my information wrong. I am willing to correct anything I say if the information that I got it was has been incorrect. But I always check 3 sources now, so I kind of have to defend my point of view a lot
Oh,
because
Cheryl, what is
I
who's
mean
lying now?
Well, you know
All right,
what?
go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, yeah. I mean, I get all my news from Fox News and MSNBC, and I love it. That's how I get all my news. You know me, James. I love Sean Hannity, and
Like, is Cheryl somebody that's been in your life before? Because I feel like she has.
Cheryl, she's just defending her
No,
county is what she's doing. Uh, she sees because
no,
she
that's not who's up
obviously
here. Who's in
is
the comments?
no, no.
Okay.
Cheryl in the chat is saying that
She said, "I'm
it's lying.
sorry." She's leaving. Like, I don't know. I just read the comment below that. First time I caught you lied, but it's not worth listening to another Democrat that spreads lies. You are a liar. Something. So I thought she said she was leaving the live and she wasn't going to listen no more because you brought her up here.
ah, come on, Cheryl.
Hey, if you
All
can't
right.
have conversations with both sides, then what's the point?
Hey, has Cheryl ever been to the DC Gulag and stood outside
I have no idea. I don't know who she
with
is.
the J6ers who stood up and fought
Yeah,
for
you
our
know,
country?
you're a patriot.
I am a
If you
patriot.
go to the J6 vigils, you're a patriot because they have been treated harshly, more harshly than any other political prisoner in America I've ever heard of in modern times ever. And I don't know if you've seen my live
Did
stream.
Cheryl
I called
ever
it
go inside the DC Gulag and meet one of those J6 political hostages?
What are you drinking, Brandy?
Because my husband and I did.
A cherry surprise. Hey, it's got that in it.
Cheryl, she's just defending her county on real estate. Only this is about we were talking about
Yeah, I
real
don't think
estate.
she's.
All the other information that I have, she's not disputing.
Mm.
It was the real estate around her area. She lives there. She obviously knows a little bit better about the real estate in her area than we do. And I don't have a problem with being wrong about that. But these other things is more concerning actually to me than just the price of real estate dropping in the area and then a spike in the homes going up for sale. I'm more interested in the Google trends on criminal lawyers being researched, unaliving yourself being researched, fraud being researched, and the spike in one-way rentals to U-Haul. That tells you what the trends are. That's something that is not a lie. You can go on U-Haul, the website, and they can tell you what's available for rent and as far as trucks and trailers in that area. That's how you can follow that trend. That's not a left-wing news outlet
So,
saying that.
James,
That's a U-Haul website saying that.
James, when you search that, what zip code
Yeah.
are you using?
I didn't pull up the zip code. I pulled up DC area.
And so how many
I
counties
did,
out
I did
of
it by
that?
DC.
How many counties out? Like,
Well, I know I pulled up Maryland and Washington D.C.
Okay. Cheryl says she's looked into buying there for the last 6 months.
so she's looking to buy in Loudoun County?
That's all it said. It didn't
Is that what you're
specify, but
saying,
that's what it
Cheryl? You're
sounds
looking
like.
by there?
Wait, you're
Okay,
moving
so
there,
that's
Cheryl.
Well, Cheryl's looking to move here.
You can sell her your house,
That's a
Kim.
good thing.
Nope. Nope.
No, Kim's not going anywhere.
Hang on, you guys.
Kim's
I
has serious roots there.
do.
Her
Yeah.
sounds like her husband and his
I do,
family
you
has
guys.
serious roots in that area.
As much as
Sorry, go ahead.
as I'm not like favorable about where I live, but we're in retirement and we want to do genealogy, and my family's history comes from the 1660s.
They're all crooked.
Well, no, we've got like family that like have done like the Civil
Hey, I know what you're
War,
saying.
World War II, World War III. Actually, some of his family worked on George Washington's farm in Washington County, Virginia. Some of them are buried there.
You know, you're talking to a bunch of Yankees, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, look, this is
No,
this
I love
is
my
that's
Yankees.
not
this is my
actually-
hometown, but there's
that's
not a lot
true,
of my
Carl.
family history in the town I live in. To be honest, we come from Virginia, Kentucky.
Absolutely, everybody comes
But
from Virginia.
when I try to leave here, this is my hometown. It could be messed up, but I still feel at home here. So I don't want to give up
My
being here
mother
altogether.
my mother did a serious
Yes, she
genealogy
did.
search. I can tell you about my family all the way back to where we're from Austria. There is a town in Austria that is named after my family's name. And she can tell you when we landed on the
There's a
beaches of South
there's a
Carolina.
town in
She can tell
Switzerland named
you
after you
about
too, from the Vikings, or somewhere up in by what is it, Switzerland with the Vikings. I found that.
so
Hey,
my
James.
mother was serious into the genealogy. I'm telling you,
James.
we can
James,
tell
I'm
you
gonna
about the
trump
roots
you.
of our
I'm gonna
family.
trump you with nothing. I'm gonna trump you with my husband's got a castle.
We have castles.
Yeah,
We have a
there you
castle.
go, guys.
We have where you said the family crest was. We have castles there under
I
our
got
name.
whole
We
towns
have a
named
whole
after
town with a
me. Come
family
on.
crest, and we have castles. And it's a very small part, but there's a castle.
I love you guys. That's amazing.
But
And I only know that
I
because
can
of what
tell
my
you,
grandma did for years. She really dug deep. She did.
That's
our family
amazing.
roots is based in
Hey, we might be
bootlegging and
cousins.
I know. And you know what, girl, we probably are.
She's not from West Virginia, Brandy.
No, but my family is. Some of my family is. My dad's family.
Well,
Is it Virginia or West Virginia?
Hang on.
my dad's family is from Big Stone Gap.
Okay, there we go.
Hang on.
I know one of them.
Mikey.
Hey Jeff,
It's in the mountains somewhere because that was a scary ride when I was little.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kim. I don't want to talk over everybody. I want to hear one
ahead.
at a time so we can get some good information
All right.
out there. But go
All
ahead. What about this castle? I'm interested in that.
So it's Kidwell Castle. There's a Kidwell Castle. Oh my God, there's so many castles. Anyway, you guys.
Where's it located
It's
at?
in England. Of course, it's in England. Where do we all originally come from, right? We come from England. We come from Europe. We come from Europe.
Yeah. Well, ours is Austria. It's a German.
I was about to
background.
say,
Is where
I
we're
did the
from.
DNA on me.
On us,
Where the
on us.
castle is for ours is closer to like between Switzerland and Germany. It's not in England.
Right.
I have no
around the
England in my
Austria
DNA test
area.
results. It was between Austria, like Austria and stuff like
We're
that,
German.
and German and Switzerland and like Greenland, Iceland, that whole area.
We're
Yeah, we are Vikings
We are
to
Vikings.
the core is what my DNA said. Irish and Vikings and German type. That whole thing.
And we have the Viking mentality because I tell you right now, screwing around with my family is a very dangerous thing.
I don't know.
to
I'm
do.
getting old and brittle. I can go ahead and fool around a little bit. I'm just joking. That was a joke.
I mean, most of my
Whips and
relatives
chains, baby.
are all based. Most of their income back in the day was based in all criminal
Yes, it
elements.
was.
And we're talking everything from moonshine and bootlegging
All the way up to
murder,
your first uncle. Like it wasn't even far
to
back.
armed robbery. I mean, some very serious individuals in my family.
Your uncle
so.
kept it going. Like it's not far generations back. It's like your uncle that was kept it going.
But I'm different.
Yeah.
I had a different mindset. I couldn't break the law if I wanted to. It makes me ill. It upsets my stomach.
I don't want to give the government my money and let them hold me captive. I like my freedom, but
Well, you know what? You gave
If need
them
be.
your
It's just-
DNA, so you just.
I did, and I wrestled with that for years. And the only reason that I decided to do it is because my grandma got so far into our genealogy that she kept mentioning it to me before she got sick that she just wanted that DNA to finalize her genealogy that she had spent years tracking down. I did it to add to her genealogy. That was the only thing that got me to do it.
Do you guys
Well,
think
now
the Pope?
Now your DNA is with the government.
I know. I mean, but
Yeah. Now China has.
I
your
mean,
DNA.
I don't care. They got my
China.
stuff in every which direction, anyways, and I'm not breaking the law. And if they want me, they can try to come get me. I mean, I'll fight it out with them if they really want to. But like, it was to the point where I was like, you know what? I read all the bad things about doing the DNA, but at this point, they're gonna get it if they want it.
Do you guys think the Pope's gonna die tonight?
I don't know. I seen that he was.
I got like $5 on it.
Come on, we're in Trump's economy now. Do 10.
All right, I'll do 10 on it. Anybody want to get in on the action?
No, because I agree with you, so I don't.
It's the I call him the pedophile pope, and I say that Satan has come to collect his soul.
Yeah, I don't. He better get a big bucket to collect them in.
Yeah, the current pope is his liberal views doesn't coincide with the religion that he's supposed to be.
I got a stupid question.
Go ahead.
When you're done, go ahead.
Go ahead.
When they open that big door,
No, go ahead.
am I just so stupid that I'm like, how are there people and cameras inside watching them open it? Or like that tripped me out. I'm like, wait a minute. It's this big show, and they're like, knock, 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 and supposed to open it for the first time. But then it's
They
like, boom, view from the inside, and all these dudes like, where did they come? Was that like supposed to be like that, or am I just so far into questioning every single thing that everything trips my mind up at this point?
it's
What big doors? What big doors are you talking?
to the Vatican. Right? Is that what you're
The
talking about?
Vatican, yeah, when
Yeah.
they opened the door at the Vatican, but it was like boom, inside camera views from the top. To
Yeah,
bottom.
they have all kinds of cameras in there. I mean,
But
it's
they
all
tried to make it sound like it was being
Yeah.
first opened.
no, it's all a scam.
Okay,
It's
so
one
I
of the
mean,
most
I was
secure
right.
places on earth.
It's all a scam.
There's cameras everywhere. It's the most secure
Sometimes
place on
things
earth,
have been so
basically.
screwed up for so long, I have to question my questions. I'm like, am I going nuts?
I mean, they have locked secrets of our origins down in the basements of the Vatican.
Oh
that
yeah.
They don't never want to see the light of day. For
How
some
many
reason.
people want to go to Fort Knox?
No, I'm going. I'll be.
Let's go see if the gold's there.
Well, the rumor is there's not been no gold there since the
They
40s.
said they're finding out, so
But
let's find
our
out.
president seems to think that there's supposed to be gold there, so we'll see what happens.
Well,
I don't want it to be like a Geraldo deal where they got into the vault of
Al Capone.
Al Capone, yeah, and there's completely empty. I think if it's completely empty, when they're saying there's how many billions of dollars worth of gold there, that's a current thing on the internet on their website. So
Yeah.
once again, you got to go with what.
All
you
I
see.
can say is somebody in the United States has deep pockets and is buying a lot of gold.
A lot of gold. I seen that. Yeah.
My guess is it's our government, because the Bank of England is running 8 weeks behind in fulfilling orders.
Yeah, they can't. And there's a crap ton, like huge orders of gold
Yes.
being bought by somebody and nobody knows who it is.
Yeah, so that tells you right now one of two things is happening. You either have President Trump purchasing massive amounts of gold, having massive amounts of gold purchased,
Don't blame it on
right?
Elon.
And wanting to. Well, if you think about it, think about what Elon said. Think about what Trump said, and think about what I believe it was Scott Bassett said, that they want to eliminate the IRS. Right? They want to
Yeah.
eliminate it. Okay, well, you're going to have a lot of gold to start that process.
Oh, baby girl.
You know, it's not like to eliminate the IRS again. You know my 15-15 rule, James. You know, you got to have a 15% corporate tax, you got to have a 15% income tax, and then you got to have 15% tariffs on every country, and that's how you eliminate the IRS. Oh, that dog sounds like it's going to eat somebody.
She sounds like that. You should see the people who deliver my stuff. There's
Right.
one boy, and I don't have the heart. I don't have the heart to tell him that he's not right because he's a young, but probably 7, 8. He comes up with his mom. He swears I have a potbelly pig in my house. He's like, "Mom, we're at the house with the pig," because she'll bark to the point she sounds like a pig. And I just can't break his heart because he gets so excited that he thinks I have a pig in my house. So I'm just like, I don't say no, but I don't say yes or either.
So, Kim,
Go ahead.
Kim, besides like you being from Virginia and living there your whole life, what else keeps you there? The cost of living obviously is ridiculous, right? Your taxes are ridiculous.
You want to get on YouTube? Say it.
So neither my husband and I are college educated.
Mhm.
We raised two daughters. We educated them well. They both have masters.
Okay.
We just like cut our own hair and put duct tape over our shoes and saved and saved and saved and saved. And so what keeps us here? It's probably our roots because we want to in our retirement. I'm going to be 61 in April. Husband just turned 70. So we have some things that keep us here. I'm not going to say we're going to stay here forever, but for right now, we can afford to be here because we saved really, 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 really well.
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm thinking about moving to West Virginia. They have an incentive there right now that if you move there and you telecommute, you can get up to like I think it's like 12 grand to relocate. Like,
All right, well, send me that shit because my husband
I was
got
about to
rich.
say, can we get some of that over here?
That's like
Yeah,
that's
I'd
like
like to
I
know
didn't
about
want to
that.
be rude and say it first.
I've got like each land to sell in the middle of like the freaking country, so I don't believe that. So send me
Yeah.
that link.
I know.
yeah, I will.
You know what? You know what? Have fun with me, but don't bullshit me.
No, West Virginia. They have an incentive. They're trying to lure people into
I
West
do
Virginia.
not live in West Virginia.
I know that. I'm saying I am
I'm
considering.
saying him.
I'm considering moving to West Virginia because, telecommute. Um, they're incentivizing people to move there that can work from home and telecommute. And they're giving up to
You know,
12 grand for you to move there, and they're also
Carl, I'm
they're
retired.
also talking about eliminating income tax there. Now I don't know if that's going to happen because every politician.
Hang on. Can you keep your pipe hole closed for me to pipe in? It's the lowest, poorest state in the country. I hope you don't have any children you have to educate or any grandchildren or anything of that. Look at your whole picture before you choose to move there. That's why they're incentivizing you to move there.
All my kids are all my
can buy into the big dumbass picture.
Well, I don't.
All my kids are grown up.
Yeah, my kids are grown too. So
why wouldn't I move there? My kids are grown up. I'm not sending them to school.
hey,
They
Carl,
eliminate
I'm
the.
gonna be your grandma. Sorry.
Oh, congratulations,
So let
Brandy.
me talk to you about their property taxes. Have you looked up their property taxes? What it costs to even have water there? What the car insurance is there?
Well, it can't be much cheaper than Ohio than Springfield.
I so.
I was going to say, Kim, let me tell you about property taxes. This Clark County, Ohio, is a poor county.
Mhm.
I think Portsmouth down south is probably just a little bit poorer than we are. The problem is here is these places like the temp service come in and over purchased homes. They paid more than the homes are actually marketed for fair
Some were
market
set to be
value,
condemned.
so that they could make them into bunk houses. So now,
James, I watched all that. Like
You
how
watched
one
what you
house
seen.
can
You
hold
didn't get the whole story if you
25
just watched it.
hold on now.
20 bunks.
What I'm saying is my property taxes
They all went up.
are now based on that very thing when it's not really a true
Our
value.
car insurance has
The
skyrocketed
prop-
because they can't drive. Like a lot of things went up.
Yeah,
You know what?
I'm still laughing about the shut your pie hole.
I didn't say nothing. I was going to let you do it, Carl. I wasn't going to say nothing. I was being good. I was
go
being
ahead,
good.
Kim. What were you getting ready to say, Kim?
You're getting
Sorry.
a little aggressive out of nowhere. Chill. It's all right.
I don't know.
Well, you know what? It's not all right because we're talking
It
about
is,
one
okay.
thing, and then you gotta change channels and whatever. So
I mean, you hear what you hear, but we live here, and that's what you were talking about. He's just saying that happened here too because of what had happened. Like our stuff went up too. That was it.
no, you were actually talking about DNA. And then it got
Where
changed to like whatever. And
he
I'm
was
like,
just
you
talking
guys
about property taxes. How do we get back to my DNA?
no, we were talking about DNA when you guys changed the conversation.
I mean, I know all the bad things that, I mean, really, I know the risk and I took the risk because I knew it was a wish of my grandma's to have done to add to it. I knew it. I was like, you know what? I'll suck it up and I'll take the risk because it was something that I chose to get done because my grandmother, who's not here no more, really wanted done to finish off her DNA that she spent years and years and hours and hours and hours doing.
All right.
That's
So
why I did it.
can I chime in on that? My
Yeah, I
mother
mean,
did
you
it because
can.
she was adopted and we could not find any relatives. So we did the same thing with 23andMe. And then she found family and they all treated her like shit. And so
I mean,
what?
that's a bad, I'm sorry for that, but that doesn't happen everywhere.
All
I
right.
mean, I'm
You
not
know what?
adopted. That's my dad right here in the corner.
All right.
What?
You know what, you guys?
That's
I
a
really appreciate you guys bringing me up.
Like you just got really aggravated for no reason. But it's all right.
No, I'm
no,
not.
no,
I'm
no,
not. I
no,
mean,
no, no. She's defending her
No,
county.
right
She's
now,
defending
like
where
she
she
just
lives.
said a
So,
I
couple.
hold on. Let her talk.
It's my pie
came
hole.
up.
Go ahead.
It's go ahead. Shh, I'll mute.
What?
It's all right.
Too many people talking at once. I want to hear what she has to say. I want to ask questions. I hope you still watch my live streams, Kim. I hope you don't get mad at me.
Of course, I will not. I will always watch you. I think you were the person that brought to the forefront of what was going on in Ohio. And for that, I truly appreciate, and I do watch a lot of your stuff. I don't always catch you live because we have things going on in life, but I'm
Sure.
glad that I was able to come up. But I did want to defend Loudoun County because not everybody that lives in Loudoun County is like all these rich, wealthy people. There are a lot of rich, wealthy people, and there is a lot of we're paying taxes for things we don't want to pay for, and our voices are shut down. And I watched in the chat, she's a Democrat. She's a Democrat. No. My father
I
was
get
a
it.
Marine. He was a man of business. He was a capitalist. He had the only auto body business in Herndon, Virginia back in the 60s. And so we are true heart, soul Republicans, yeah, MAGA. And we have been down to the DC jail. We have gone in to visit. We have celebrated out there. Not, celebration is a wrong word, but we've been out there to support. And I thank you guys for bringing me up, but I'm not the person that you guys are talking about. So, and the
No, no, no. I never assume that the entire area is of one group of people. I don't. I know you're the minority, and you're like you said, your voice don't get heard like it should. But we are talking about the individuals that is like surrounded and affected by Trump being in office now
well,
and the Doge department
well,
being created and doing what they're doing.
well,
This is what the story is all about.
well, had certain people been willing to listen, I could have shared with you lots that have gone in the count within the county. I worked for Loudoun County Public Schools when all this stuff was going on, where there was a transgender person that raped a girl in a bathroom. And
Right. It's what
apparently,
started all this
yeah,
controversy.
and how we went to stand and how that man got tackled down and how all our voices got silenced. But I don't feel like this channel is the right channel to talk to that about because you guys have not been a place to really talk to with. So I'm going to check out and I hope you guys have a great night.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming on, Kim. And we do support the situation about the trans person doing that to that child. As far as the argument against it, and I protested and I spouted off about that gentleman
Well,
being carried out by
well,
the
that
local police
that
department.
transgender human was then put back into another school system that's another mile away from me, only to do it again.
Yes, we heard about that too. I
And so, if
I'm
you
angry
guys
about
want to
that,
have a real
and I
conversation about what's going on in Loudoun County, please feel free to reach out to me. But I'm not going to do all this other crazy stuff.
no, you're fine. It, anytime you want to come on, if you want to like talk about that, we can devote a portion of a live stream just for that
I'll do it
subject.
now.
And I'd like to learn more about your point of view. Yeah, we
Do
can
it
do
now.
it now.
Go
That
for
is
it.
I was
true.
about to say
If
nobody
you're
here was
willing
against
to
talking
talk
about any
more
of
about
that.
it, Ken,
So I
Go
don't
for it.
know.
I mean, the platform is for having the point of view from the MAGA point of view against all this transgenderism and all this woke bullshit. So this is the place to talk about that. So if you're willing to talk about it, let's talk about it.
I am, if you guys are willing to like stop the other stuff and let's talk about it. So
I don't.
hang on.
Yeah.
Sometimes I come off a little different to people, but if I'm coming off like I'm being unsensitive or insensitive, I'm not. It's just the way that I
You know what?
talk.
Girl, I grew up in a body shop with 7 men. I grew up with 7 boys. I mean, that's not offensive. It's the
No, I'm saying if I
distractions.
sound insensitive to what you're saying,
No,
it's just the way I
you're
talk.
not insensitive. What's
Okay.
insensitive is like it's about the dog. It's about this, like changing like from subject to subject to
I was
subject.
just letting you know why I kept muting my mic because my dog will bark randomly, and it's okay. Just talk
I,
about what you're talking
yeah.
about. I don't want to
It's
change the
all right.
subject again.
Yep. I am insensitive and I apologize. But with that being said, go ahead. Let's talk about what you want to talk about, Kim.
All right, so Loudoun County has become a place for people of differences, like LGBT, because of all the things that were challenged that the school system will not correct. We're drawing a lot of people of all those populations. And so we are going to stay here because, you know, my husband and I grew up in Herndon, and we were driven out of there from one culture to another. And so we're going to stay here. I don't believe we should be driven out. I think if you want to make a difference, you stay here, you stay the course, and you make the difference. And so that's what we're going to do. But we have a lot of people moving here because of what's going on in the school system. We're favorable to that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So, I commend you for staying there. That's when I asked you what kept you there. That's what I was looking for. So I appreciate you articulating that.
I'm not
Um,
going to run.
yeah, I
You know what?
appreciate that. Yeah.
I
So
can, I can run or I can stay here, be myself, and do what I need to do. And why I stay here, we saved enough money to be here.
that's awesome. So as far as the schools go, um, so and this always kind of drives me crazy, being having two daughters and a son. So parents are okay with having a transgender boy change with their daughter in the locker room and being on the sports team. And if you were to go to a school board meeting and bring it up, you would be the minority.
Correct.
That's insane to me.
You're actually considered a domestic terrorist, if I'm not mistaken.
And James, you're correct. We are not, if we want to speak out right now, and hopefully this changes within the next few weeks or couple of months where we can go speak out in favor of not having boys in men's sports because I do believe there's only two genders. I do not believe that any look, if you're gay, you're gay. I get that. And I believe that if you want to do something after the age of 18, 21, whatever, that's your right to do that. I don't believe that in schools that they should be putting condoms in bathrooms for elementary schools, which they're doing in Maryland, by the way, which is a neighboring
That's
state.
gross.
Like in
That's
elementary
gross in my opinion.
schools, they're putting condoms in elementary school bathrooms. So we got a lot going on. And James, I'm going to say this to you. Bill and I, and that's my husband, we're almost 40 years married, been together 43. We have argued and battled this. Do we leave a place that we grew up in? No. People are driven away.
No.
Or you stay and stand and wait for the right fight. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to stay and stand and wait for the right fight. And we believe that day's reckoning. Does that make sense?
So let me ask you a question, Kim.
Sure.
Let me ask you a question. So you're saying that it's still the policy of that school district?
Yep. There are.
To allow.
Yes, there in Loudoun. All right, sorry. In Virginia, there's 5 counties: Loudoun, Fairfax, Prince William, Alexandria, and Arlington. Those are the 5 counties that are refusing to accept Trump's executive orders of no more DI, nor men and girls' bathrooms or boys and so there's a lawsuit going on.
So they're willing to lose their funding to make that stance, to die on that hill.
So hang on. So if I can share a private moment that my husband and I had. So when you live in the richest county in the United States, what happens if they take your federal funding? They're going to increase our taxes. Also, please know that we have 146 data centers surrounding us. So they're calling that's like that's income revenue, lowering your. You guys, it's so much it's more complicated than I think you guys realize. And so that's why I wanted to chime in. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm a simple guy. You are right. I try to simplify the arguments of whatever it is, and they are complicated arguments. There is no easy solution for most things, because you are dealing with different personalities and individuals. So what you guys need to do, because you're willing to sit there and stand there and fight for your area, would it be in your best interest to see if you can't get a group of us patriots to come down to one of these meetings and help voice your opinion with you?
You know what? I will look into that because I am a part of a group on Facebook. They're called the Conservative Women. Well, sorry guys, you can't join, but it's Conservative Women of Loudoun County and abroad.
Well, that's very
well. If I change my gender, I can join.
Well, stop
that's
that. I would never want
Kim.
that, but
I don't think my wife would want that either, Kim. But
no.
And my
But
no. But you guys.
But I am willing to speak about this on my live streams and organize something to come and help support you guys and get this policy changed.
And I appreciate that. I don't even know what Youngkin's doing. Like, I know he's not going to run again. I know the Attorney General is going to run in place of him. So it's like seeing how this is going to fall out. And like I'm telling you what, Fairfax, Loudoun, Prince William, some of these counties, will they take the state money? And I want to tell you guys, I did work for Loudoun County Public Schools for almost 20 years until I could not. because of all this. I just like, I can't do it. I can't like just sit in my seat and like be okay with it. I was not
But
okay with it.
Kim, but President Trump said he's going to cut off federal funding to any school or anything like that that does not comply. Pam Bondi basically kind of said that today too.
All
So
right.
so how is
All right. So can I ask you your name so I can call you by name? Because it looks like, is it KillerCarl?
KillerCarl.
KillerCarl. Carl. Hey, Carl.
Yeah, that's
Carl?
All
Carl.
right. So is that by county or by
You can
state?
call me Piehole too. Either one.
I'm just gonna call you Killer.
All right.
So Killer. So is that by state or by county?
Um, from what I understand, it's by state, but all the federal funding, if it's cut off just because if one county doesn't comply, right, it's still going to
Whole
affect
state
the
gets
whole
affected.
state. So he's going to cut off federal funding. It's the way it's going to, because he's not messing around with this.
Killer.
So the other counties in your
Killer.
area
Killer.
may really be
That's gonna be our joy point. Right?
yes.
Yeah. Because if you look at
Yeah,
Virginia,
and I was gonna
if you look at Virginia, you can pull up on the map. There's a lot of red. But Northern Virginia is predominantly blue. So yeah, I hope they kill the federal funding. And then it won't be
get
so
ready to do it to Maine.
prominent to come here.
Yeah, and that may help because you're right. If it was just your county, they would probably just raise your local taxes. But if it does affect the whole state, I do know that because that's exactly what President Trump said. If anybody doesn't comply to it, the state will lose their federal funding. So that other counties may beat up on your county to comply.
And then that would be a point for Bill and I to consider whether or not we need to move. But until then, we're going to stay the course, work through the system. We don't feel like right now's the point where we need to speak up. We got to let a few more things fall into place, see if they comply. If they don't comply, and I told you guys, I worked for Loudoun County. I watched many white men be beat up by CRT. You guys know what CRT is?
Yeah, critical race theory.
Yeah. So imagine being within a school system for 40 years and you're a Catholic man who has been the social studies director, and they made him the punching boy because he was white privilege. No, he wasn't. He worked his ass off. He worked his ass off to get through school, paid his own way, but because he was white, he became the punching boy for all of Loudoun County's employees. And it was almost 2 years later, after he retired, I was done because I woke up and I was like, they just drove a man that I respected highly out of the school system because they made him the speaking point for critical race theory. And I want to tell you guys something. I know that we all there were slaves. And there's a lot of things there. I can't fix it. I can never fix that one day in my life. I don't not appreciate it. I can tell you all the great things my father did to help Black men open up their own businesses, how he encouraged them, how he talked to me about my grandfather's racism and told me not to be like that. And I could go on and on and on. How he changed my world to not be like that person. But
Can
to
I?
bring up critical race theory is only to bring up racism. To bring it back, birth it again, and make it like it's fresh and bred, and like make people angry again, and like change culture and change statues and disface statues and all these things.
I can tell you that I get angry when they talk about white privilege because I don't think it's been white privilege in this country. I think it's been economical and social privilege because I grew up in a poor area. I was harassed by the police because of where I lived because they assumed we were all criminals. I had nothing growing up. I worked for everything I have. I raised four children on I'm not college educated. I raised four children on skilled trades and let me tell you, only 5% of the population owned slaves. 5%. Okay, and I'll give you a background of my family. We never had it. We look genealogy. We was just talking about it. We never owned any. Matter of fact, I'll tell you guys something that I've never told in public, which is my middle name, because my great great grandfather worked the fields with a freed slave, and they were best friends. And my middle name is the name of that uh, slave, and I'm proud of that middle name. I'm proud of my family sticking up for the black community in the South when it was not popular. So I get angry when they talk about white privilege. It pisses me off so much to hear that. I have to argue with them every time I hear somebody spout that. And then we have people who are apologizing for being white, for unconscious racism in their because they say it's inbred and because you're white it's automatic. It's the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard in my damn life. Our mayor in this town has apologized for unconscious racism because he's white. Unconscious racism. What the hell is that?
Yeah, I agree.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I agree.
And I was going to say, I've never spouted my middle name in public ever. My daughter will tell you this, but I'm going to tell you what it is, and then you'll understand what I'm
Wait, if
talking
you're going to
about.
say your middle name,
Because
I'm recording this because you tell nobody your middle name.
right, because people, as soon as they hear it, they get confused why
They say Star Wars.
a white guy has
They
this
say
name.
Star Wars, if
But
not.
my middle name is Obi, and it comes from a previous slave, my great great grandfather's
I
best
didn't get to
friend.
record it.
And I've been proud of that name. I don't say it
It'll be
very
on
Ever?
often because
YouTube.
people like to ask questions about it. They like to make fun of it because they do. They go Obi-Wan
Yep,
Kenobi
that's
and
the
all
first
that.
thing they do is make fun.
So my family supported uh, the rights of minorities in this country in the South when it wasn't popular. My father's family come to this country right at the end of the Civil War. So none of my family ever owned a slave. 5% of this
Oh
country.
no.
So they like to blame the entire country for something that 5%
Why is
was a
Carl
part
moving
of.
but nobody
It
else?
makes no sense to me. It is a bogus argument. White privilege does not exist. It's economical and social privilege and nothing more.
Well, 70% of the slaves ended up in Brazil anyway. They were Brazil took 70% of the slaves that came to the Americas. I don't hear anybody over there talking about
But I just want
talking.
to put a little bit of my family history out there when it comes to white privilege and slavery and stuff like that. We not all white people come from a evil background as they like to say we do. We have subconscious racism automatically running through our veins because we're white. It's disgusting.
But James, I mean, here we are many years later. What am I supposed to do about that? I mean, They want
Well,
they want
hold on.
they want retribution. They want
Wait a minute. Wait a
they're
minute. Wait a
pushing
minute.
them to want to ask for retribution.
We got off topic. We were talking about the Loudoun County School.
White privilege
And we and
and
if you were
the
following
woke mindset, CRT.
Killer, if you were following and listening,
Yeah,
we moved
yeah,
to
Carl.
I fell asleep for a minute. I'm sorry.
well, then you need to
Sunday night.
mute your mic
Okay, I'll mute it.
because we were talking about me working for Loudoun County Public Schools and how CRT came in a few years ago and changed a lot of the way the culture happened in Loudoun County and why a Loudoun County is attractive to certain populations. So are you caught up now?
I think I am. I think I am. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I was saying, kind of, I think ran along that same subject, but I just wanted to put a little bit of my personal history in that of why I disagree with the CRT argument because they don't like to be stereotyped or lumped into one group of one mindset for all. Neither do we. You can't say a whole group of people is this or that. It doesn't make sense. So to say that we have it better than other minorities in this country, and it may be true, but it's financial, it's economical and social privilege, not white privilege. So not all of us are rich. Not all of us come from a privileged background, but there's a lot of black and Hispanics and Asians that come from a privileged black background also. But apparently it's just white people that can be all these bad things. It's a flawed argument. CRT is a flawed argument. It doesn't really. There's no foundation from it. It is just something somebody made up.
Yeah, and in Loudoun County, we have a lot of Middle Easterners. So they got a lot of money when they come here. And I will tell you that that's been a lot of ways the money that the home prices have been driven up. Your house could appraise for 400, get into a bidding war. They've got cash to put down over top of the bidding price. You got BlackRock. So, all right.
Yeah, which is the real estate market. That's what's happened here in our town. Is they overpaid for properties just to. I mean, when tip services and your local politicians own most of the rental properties in this whole town. So you're talking about five, six people own just about every rental in this entire town. And they overpaid for these. And, a rental property is usually a low valued property when you purchase it. But it's not in this town. It's ass backwards because they rent out by the bed and not by the house itself. So the pricing is ridiculous here. So an average person cannot barely afford to live here. That's why we have a homeless problem.
So, James, we kind of have the same thing going on here, but in Loudoun County, there's a lot of HOAs. So when you have HOAs, then you have parking issues, trash. So there's a lot of complications with all that. So I work due diligently with like the HOA about all things that are happening, but it's probably not stuff that you guys get to deal with. So, but I'm grateful that you allowed me to come up. I would like to stay in touch.
Absolutely.
Um, I
I tell you what,
I truly.
and I'm dead serious.
Right.
Go ahead. I was going to say, I'm dead serious about promoting a deal where we can come down and support and see if we can't change the policies of your local school system and make them bend the knee to MAGA.
And I'm gonna hold you to that. I mean, I kid you not. I
Absolutely.
mean, and I want some other groups to stand with us. I mean, it can't just be like 5 people. It's got to be hundreds of people,
It's gonna be 500
or
people.
we need 5,000 people or whatever. But
If we can get that many, that would be awesome. I'm a little guy on the internet, so I don't know if I could draw that many to help, but I'm sure I can draw a few dozen.
all right, all right, Patriot Mama, you're laughing.
What's that?
Were you laughing?
Who?
Oh no, she's not laughing. Okay.
No, Carl was on his phone, so it had nothing to do with what we're
Yeah, I
doing.
was on my phone. I'm sorry about that, Kim.
All right. Well, like I haven't read much of the chat, but I'll go back and look at it. But yeah, let's stay
Oh,
in
they
touch.
love you.
Don't worry about Kim. Don't worry about the chat. You're speaking you're speaking your heart. What's important to you. I I kind of agree with a lot of what you're saying. I respect your point of view about what I was saying earlier about your area, but as when I'm saying that, you got to know that I'm not talking about the entire area. I'm talking about federal employees are losing their shit over everything that's happening right now, and the trends on the internet are showing.
And you know what? I am loving that shit. I can't tell you.
Me
We are
too.
loving it. We're loving it. We're sitting back. We're eating our popcorn because even my husband, who worked for a subcontractor back during COVID, which he had to go into work because he was a warehouse worker. So you have to, when you work in a warehouse, your boots on the
It's
ground, you
essential
have to
work. Yeah.
receive things, you gotta like stock them, store them, and all these.
Did you guys get the jab?
We had to.
See that's
It was mandated,
that to me
or he
that is
would have lost his job.
exactly. And all these people, I say it all the time. I have no sympathy for any government employee that loses their job right now, because nobody cared about when these people in the military or in these hospitals or in the school system even that were willing to say, I'm not going to take the jab, and they lost their jobs. Nobody seemed to care about that. But all these government employees, it's a bloated system to where they don't need 60 to 70% of the people working for the government is unnecessary. And Elon Musk can prove that in a heartbeat because he proved it with X. He got rid of 75% of the employees in X, and they said it was going to fail. But X seems to be doing pretty damn good with just 25% of its original employment staffing. So the government can be ran the same way. So I have no sympathy for them losing their jobs, but I feel sorry for you. And I do not hold it against you for you getting a jab to keep your job, because I know they would have canned you in a heartbeat if you had.
So
I didn't, me myself, I did not take the jab. I was willing to lose my job over it, but I wasn't forced to lose my job over it, but I refused to take the jab. But I know everybody can't be in that position.
so my husband did, and then I waited 30 days to be sure he was okay, and then because he took it, I took it too. We did Johnson and Johnson. We didn't do anything. We researched it well. We used Dr. Oz to do our research and less invasive. So we didn't do anything that changes your DNA or
Did you get any of the
nope,
boosters? Did you get any of the
nope,
boosters?
nope,
Okay, because
nope.
see, to me, it seems like more people were having side effects from the boosters than they were having from the original jab. Although the original jab is showing some side effects depending on which one you got, but it was the second, third, and fourth boosters. People were just having all kinds of issues. So the boosters to me were more dangerous than the original jab.
So I think one of the things I want to share with you. So my husband worked for a large corporation that was a subcontractor. And so during COVID, many of them moved. They moved out of state because they thought they could work from home forever. And so I hope when the government says, come back to work, they expect those subcontractors for the corporations that hired all the subcontractors for these contracts, they have to come back to work. Because imagine my husband tries to schedule a meeting with a man that should be in Northern Virginia and he doesn't answer his phone. Well, come to find out, he's in another country that has a different time zone, and they have no idea because he doesn't have to be in the office. But where my husband has to send the parts to, he needs to be where he can send those parts. So I think what I'm saying to you is, I agree with everything Elon Musk is doing. I think he needs to do a deeper dive into the subcontractors that have employees all over the effing United States that have moved away from where they were supposed to report to every day in Northern Virginia, because this shit's got to stop. Sorry, guys. Sorry for my bad word.
No, you're good. And you are absolutely correct. I think Elon Musk and his group are doing a forensic audit. That means it's going to go deeper. It's going to probably go as deep as you're wanting it to go, because they are trying to weed out all this fraud, waste, and abuse to the deepest cores of anything being spent with the government, which includes contractors. So there's probably going to be more to come. He was given a year time frame to do this.
2 years.
I think it's going to take longer than a year.
2 years.
I think it's going to take 18 months.
2 years.
Is it 2 years now? Because it was originally a year.
It's January 4th, 2026.
I'm sorry, I went to the bathroom. Are we still talking about the school thing, or did we change?
No, we changed.
No, right now we're
okay.
talking about Elon Musk and Doge.
Well,
so 2 years, which is what I was saying.
No, we're actually talking about subcontractors that live in Northern Virginia that moved away and still have their jobs.
Yeah, which is basically what I was saying is, I think that Elon Musk and them are actually going. It's going to affect the contractors too, because they are doing a forensic audit, which means everything.
Yeah, my brother-in-law is a subcontractor for the SCE, the Security Exchange Commission, and he used to live in DC and moved out to Colorado, so he's doing remote work out there. So I'm thinking his job's probably going to be on the axing block too.
All right.
And it is possible.
Hang on. Say that again, Carl. So it's
He works for the Security Exchange Commission in DC.
Okay.
Right. He used to live in DC, but he moved to Colorado. But
during COVID.
No, before that, a little before that, he moved to Colorado, but he was doing remote work because he's a subcontractor for them. But my guess is his job will be on the chopping block, and I'm fine with that.
That's one of the departments that Trump took physical control over.
He used to complain, and he's a libtard. So he lived in D.C. He went to George Mason University. He's a straight up libtard.
Oh my God! I live 30 minutes from George Mason University.
Yeah, my father-in-law lives in Mythalonian. Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, lives out there. So, yeah, he said to me many times he would go in to work, and there were people doing nothing. They were on their phones, and he used to bitch about it all the time. He used to complain that people are doing nothing and getting paid for it. And this is way back. And he's like, nobody can get fired. You make a complaint, nobody gets fired. Again, back to the conversation we were having earlier about the treatment you get when you try to utilize the government in any way. whether it be Social Security, the IRS. The treatment you get is very lackluster, but it's our tax dollars that are paying for it.
All right. So,
Yeah, unless you're an immigrant.
Wow, yeah, that's different.
so my husband worked on the same contract for 25 years. It was the Department of State. It was for telecommunications for all the embassies. And I don't know. We're going to see what's going to happen with that because that is needed. I mean, we're always going to have telecommunications for all the
Oh,
embassies.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well,
They're not going to cut stuff that is needed. That for the left to argue that they are is just a ridiculous argument. What they need to do and what they will do is look at it and say, okay, we can do the same job at the same level needed to do it efficiently without, like, say, this many employees or this much money from the budget to do that job. That's all they're doing. They're not going to remove necessity things that the government needs to do. They like USAID. They're saying we're cutting foreign funding for humanitarian stuff. No, they're not. That's the dumb thing about this whole deal. That is not what they're doing. They are cutting the ridiculous titles of what these checks were written for stuff that that money never got sent for those things, those ridiculous titles that they have in these foreign countries. That money went to somebody's back pocket to do whatever. I think we do a lot of election interference in this world, and I think these are just bogus titles to send money to different politicians and different people in foreign countries to try to control and basically buy our friends. I've said it before. All this money is to buy our friends. We'll see who our friends really are when all this money is no longer uh, spent.
well, you know what?
So I'm
You
just
know
waiting
what?
to see what happens on that.
Outside of money, what country is our friend?
That's it. We pay for all our friends. Our money is just about every country that's like Western country or even just Middle Eastern countries that we deal with. We give them some kind of aid of some kind. Why is that? Some of these countries are better off than we are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, go for it. Like, rip it down, take it down.
Exactly, because anybody who thinks we're actually sending millions of dollars to Peru for a transgender comic book, you're drinking the Kool-Aid because that's not what that money was for. That money was used for
All
something
right,
else and
so
somebody
all right, so
because they never get held accountable.
hang on.
Huh?
They've used money for countries that are most vulnerable. Peru's one of them. There's many others to help
Yeah, but we're not sending
help
money
change
for
the 1%, 2% of the population. So if you get those people to buy into the Kool-Aid, then they'll come here or whatever. All right, so
well, which is kind of what I'm saying there, Ken. We're not actually spending millions of dollars on a transgender comic book. That is they literally, since they were never held accountable in that department, they were literally throwing asinine titles on all these purposes of why they were writing checks. So you'll probably find as they keep digging into it that actually none of this money was actually spent for any of these titles that they are putting out there with all these millions of dollars spent. You know, dumb stuff, plays, Sesame Street in Iraq, all kinds of. You'll find that none of that stuff probably
well,
really
the,
happened.
the Haitians have already come back and said $4.4 billion that was raised for them for an earthquake in 2010, they got 2% of, and only 4 homes were built. And there's no
Right?
accounting.
You know who led that. You know who led that
Yep,
charge
Clintons.
to get that
Yep,
money? The
Clintons.
Clinton
Yep,
Foundation.
there you
Correct?
go.
The foundation that had 2 private
Yep,
jets.
there you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. we'll find that a lot of this money was never spent for what they're saying it was spent for.
Yeah, totally agree.
But I appreciate the conversation, kid. You're welcome to come back anytime.
I
Uh,
hope Killer
like I said,
Carl sends you my email address, and I would
yeah,
love,
Carl, that'll
I
work.
would love to chat with you some more.
$5.
Uh,
Five
Yeah,
bucks, I'll send it, Kim.
yeah,
Express
never
I'll,
gonna
mail.
hey,
happen.
Carl,
Inflation
I owe you.
too.
I'll owe you $5.
Yeah, I'll send it to him.
I got people that will pay me to talk. So outside of that, you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you so much. Enjoyed the chat.
You too,
You
Kim.
too.
I hope that I
Yeah,
was
we
a
were
little
supposed to
bit
jump over to
insightful.
Rumble, but
I hope I was a little
we
bit
were supposed to jump
insightful.
over to Rumble.
Uh,
Thank you. We like I said, we were supposed to jump over to Rumble, but we kept the conversation going. I hate to change over when we're on this platform and like you come to talk, and I wanted to hear what you had to say. And I hope you listen to what I have to say. I come from a place that with a good heart. I
I,
hope you
I
believe that.
watched you from 236 people to your 20,000. So
So,
I don't always see you live, but I watch you all the time.
Kim, can I ask
And I
one
appreciate that.
quick question before you go?
Sure.
So, people pay you to talk? What do you do for a living?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
People,
Oh, I thought you were serious. I was
I'm
curious.
joking with you. People would pay me to talk.
I don't have much of a sense of humor. I apologize.
Oh no, you
Yeah.
apparently do. I mean, I've watched you for
Hey,
over an hour, so apparently you do.
I tell you what, do you ever go over on Rumble, Ken?
Periodically, are you the same name under Rumble?
My Rumble channel is Empty Pockets Podcast. What I'm doing is I'm doing a 30-day countdown. If you are subscribed to me through my car channel, my Empty Pockets Garage, if you want to stay on YouTube, you can subscribe to my Jimmy Pockets YouTube channel. But in a month, I will no longer be doing any of this political stuff on my car channel because my car guys and girls are getting tired of it, and I don't blame them. My car channel is for car content. So, but Carl has a podcast, live streams on Rumble. He has 30+ thousand followers, and his name of his podcast is KillerCarl. I'm on there with him every Saturday night, or most Saturday nights, and we're uh, just grown up adolescents that talk about all these subjects that we're talking about right now. But it's a good time.
All right, I'll look them up.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you for
you.
listening. Thank you for hearing me out. Definitely,
Oh, no problem. Hey,
definitely a
your
country,
your opinion is valid to me.
definitely a county of money, but not all of us came from money. Some of us worked really freaking hard, 3 jobs at times.
Absolutely. I worked 2 jobs for 10 years raising 4 daughters.
Yeah, well,
I know what you're saying.
yeah. I mean, my husband and I worked 2 and 3 jobs to get our kids through college, and we are not college educated. And so, all right.
No, you're able to do that because of white privilege,
Yep, there
right?
you go. Yep.
Yeah, that's what it
Yep.
takes.
Totally right.
You want to get by life. Just hopefully you're a part of the right group of people, right?
Well, we were driven out of Herndon, Virginia, and we've decided we're not going to be driven out of Loudoun County. We're going to stay put up the fight, bring on the
Right.
smiles.
Hold your ground. Exactly. And if you need help with
Absolutely.
that
Because you know what? We
disgusting
can't let these
school
people drive us
system that you
out.
have,
We can't let these people drive us out of our hometowns.
yeah, because they got to change their mindset. They got to realize they're on the wrong side of history here.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I think when he shuts off all the support for all the immigration, shit's going to change quick. All right. I'm not going to keep
Absolutely.
you guys. All right.
All right, you have
All
a
right.
good
You
night.
guys too. And thank you for bringing me up. Thank you guys for making that work.
No
All right, you
problem.
guys have a good night.
Good night. Carl, I was going to jump over to Rumble. You think we should just stay right here and keep talking?
Yeah,
Or
it
you think
doesn't
we
matter,
should...
man. That's up to you, brother. I'll probably punch out at 9:30.
Oh, that's cool. A lot of times, like I said, I don't never plan to have a long live stream, but as long as the chat wants to
Yeah, I mean,
engage, I'm
you
good
just
with it.
gotta let him go. Keep.
Yeah, I enjoy it though. I mean, I like the interaction. I try to answer as many questions as I possibly can with the amount of knowledge that I may or may not have, and I'll accept it if I don't have the knowledge of what they're talking about. A lot of times, the chat room will educate me, which is like Rusty
Yeah,
Nuts.
I love Rusty Nuts.
My man Rusty Nuts educates me a lot.
I gotta tell you, man. Oh, that was different.
Hey, that's what it's all about, though. You know what I mean? Not everybody has. We all have different issues where we live, the problems that we have to deal with. I get it, and she wants to support her area where she lives, but like I said, she got to understand when I say that, I'm only talking about these government employees and these politicians who are affected by these new uh, outcomes. So it's not everybody, but there is a spike in this stuff, and it is a trend that is, you can research it and find it yourself. It's not nothing. I didn't pull it out of my ass. It's not my opinion. That's good, Ken. We're not saying nothing bad.
Turn it off now.
We're saying we enjoyed that. That's what we're saying. It's different. We don't normally get that kind of
Kim,
interaction.
turn down the volume now. Turn it down.
No.
How annoying was Kim? Oh my God, that lady! Could you imagine? I'd wanted to poke my eardrums out. I couldn't take a minute of her. Paging Kim. This is the pie hole here. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna have to get one of those.
Daddy, check your text messages. You should have checked them 45 minutes ago.
I'm kidding, Kim. Come on, man. Have a sense of humor. I'm just joking with you.
Yeah. He is just joking with you because we realize where you live, you're dealing with a serious situation, and I sympathize with you, and I hope you hold me to accountable. That I will, if you want to put together something to go in there and protest against your school district, I'd be more than happy to do what I can do to make that happen. At least give you a little bit more numbers to be there and stand and support. So, yeah, not kidding on that. Not blowing smoke up anybody's butt.
Well, that would be a worthy cause to get behind.
Absolutely.
That's a worthy cause to get behind. That I'm okay with.
Yeah, Kim, make sure you vote for John Reed for lieutenant governor. That's what he's running for.
Why do they call it lieutenant?
I don't know. Their job really means nothing, to be honest. They basically break. They basically break. Tied votes.
They do like the vice. They're not like a vice president of the country, but it's just vice president for their, vice governor or whatever. And they call it lieutenant governor. I never understood why they called it.
My
lieutenant.
wife is like, "Don't be a jerk." Come on, hon. I'm not being a jerk.
Hey,
I was joking.
Hey, that's part of Carl's.
Exactly. You know Carl's attitude, and he just kept getting shut up every 5 seconds.
Hey, when they tune in to talk.
We just got censored like liberals
right there.
Shut your pie hole.
We just got censored as all get out. We lost our freedom of speech for like 45 minutes.
Brandy, shut your pie hole right now.
My bad.
Well, what you got to understand is when we have multiple people on here, we have to pay attention that we're
she
not
was being nice to
each
you.
other.
That's why you kept talking to her. She was being very rude to the both of us. She's not MAGA like we're MAGA. She might be a Republican, but she's not MAGA like we are MAGA. And I will say that I would have said it on here, but I kept getting silence.
I don't know.
Of course, she's
Is she
knowledgeable
support?
about her area, but she wouldn't let the subject go any further without getting offended that the subject might fluctuate here and there.
You know
That's
what?
okay.
Nobody ever is the Pope gonna die tonight?
Don't change the subject, Carl. That's rude.
I don't. Honestly, I don't. I don't think so, Carl. To be honest with you.
I
Daddy,
mean,
go back and watch that live.
watch my.
Just
I think the
do that.
Pope. I think there's a shot, James, while we're sleeping. You know, he's having kidney failure, and
You
I
think
want my $5, man.
I'm not betting against you because I agree with you, and it's either going to be because he's really sick, or Cash Patel got in there, and a lot of people got in there, and I'm like, oh snap, we got to go. Check out.
Check him out.
Check out.
When do you think the Epstein file is going to be released?
Probably tomorrow.
Bondi has it on her desk, and she said that they're like I've watched like 9+ interviews of people did with her, quick little interviews, and she's like, it's here. He wants to thoroughly go over it. He wants to release it in the best way possible. He doesn't want to just throw it out there and like, oh, he did this and that. He wants to be the most efficient he can when that list gets released to where they cannot come back and say that, oh, this is on there or he did it because of this. Because there's so much information and it's such a horrible topic that he doesn't want to be insensitive about victims and things and such when he releases it.
There's no victims on
Not
that
on the
list.
list,
These
but there are
all the
victims
perpetrators
of the people on that list. So he doesn't want to just throw it out like a publicity. He doesn't want them to think like, oh yeah, he's president. He wanted to throw it out there and it'd be like a political stunt. Because
But they're not. Wait a minute, though, Brandy. That's
no, it's coming
a
very
bogus
soon. He's not
argument.
going to hold on to it.
No. There's no victims going to be on this
There
list.
are victims
This
of
is
the
all
people
going
on
to
that
be
list.
people that Epstein did business with. Just like if you've seen the flight logs,
No.
you've seen all the names of the celebrities and the politicians that are
What
on
I'm
his
saying
flight
is I've
logs.
heard a few
He
interviews
flew
with
a hell of a
people.
lot of people on his
I've heard a few interviews
What?
with families of victims that says Trump has been personally getting a hold of them and preparing them for the story that's about to blow up. He's mentally preparing them like, hey, this is about to come out and I don't want it to hit you so hard that it affects you negatively. And they're not going to be public, but he's been actually trying to reach out to actual victims or victims' families to prepare them that their victimizer is about to be out and it's going to be a big story. He didn't want it all in their face. And that's what he was doing.
The thing with that is,
Oh, it's not a
Epstein
risk.
is such
Just
a
be
vile.
nicer next time. That's all.
Epstein is such a vile
Oh,
person
he's the
that
devil.
anybody that's on his list as clients, anybody who wants to demonize the victims in this situation,
But there are nasty people that will. That's the truth.
but
I
we
mean,
got to stand up and
They
We
support
sure
already
him.
will.
have.
We can't be letting
We
them do
cannot.
that.
But he was just preparing them mentally. He didn't want them to wake up and be like, oh, this name's out there and
Kim,
faces
don't.
start popping up and it like a PS. What is that? PT.
Look what you guys did. I wish y'all hadn't
I didn't
done
do
that.
anything.
'Cause
I didn't do
want
it.
people to
Hey,
come
I
and
didn't
talk.
go back and watch this live. I don't think you've seen it for what it was. Go back and watch this live. You were so
Well,
immersed in the conversation, which is fine.
because I'm trying to have a
No,
conversation.
that's fine. We
I'm
were
trying to
trying
get
to have a
people's different points of
conversation.
view. I'm just saying I want to respect people's different
We
points
don't.
of view.
Okay, I am your daughter. Do I disrespect people's different points of view? No, but I couldn't even.
You want the real answer?
I couldn't. I
Help me out
couldn't
here,
even
Carl.
talk. No, he got
Oh,
shut up
man.
too. He got told to shut up too.
No, I got
We
told
could
to
not
shut
speak.
my pie hole, Brandy. Get it
Anytime we
right.
spoke before we
That's
could
the
even
most.
speak on it, we got
Listen,
told to shut up.
Brandy, that's the most respectful
Tim, you
way.
did good. Don't worry
No,
about it,
she's
okay?
fine.
You did
I'm
good.
just saying there was a better way to go about that where you didn't have to mute people. You could have had a conversation, a very educational conversation, and a calm one even.
You know what I learned a lot from Kim? I learned about like the whole situation in the Loudoun County School
Yeah,
District. I mean,
it wasn't for nothing.
Exactly.
that was a
Exactly.
It
That's
wasn't
what
for
I'm saying.
nothing. It
conversation.
was good.
And you know, I mean,
I was gonna say,
I joke around. Sorry, Kim, I joke. Probably took
Joke.
too
I
much.
found some real value
There
in the
was value in the
conversation. So
conversation, but I'm saying me and Carl could have just been off the screen because, and it would have probably been a better conversation if you'd have done that with her one on one, because people in the chats like, oh my god, like they're seeing stuff too. So you probably would have got more info out had it just been you two, and we couldn't have been getting like daggers thrown at us for no reason.
tonight is unusual. I don't never usually have the privilege of having you guys hang out with me.
Yeah, and
So
I
it's
I
usually
like
just me
hanging
by
out. I
myself.
just don't like being
I
rude
know.
to for no reason.
I love it.
Uh,
I love when people are rude.
I'll go back and
But
watch it again. I didn't
I
see
knew
it
you
that
see what I
way.
did.
Uh, I see her trying to have a conversation, and she felt like she was being
You
talked
know
over.
me.
So
I muted my mic.
I
I
do.
usually don't do that.
It's all good. I'll go back and watch it, and I'll if I think if I see what you're talking about, I'll mention it on my next live,
You
and
will.
I'll because I want to. I always want. I want everybody to have a not fear coming and speaking
I
their
love having
opinion on this
conversations, and I like
on this
having
platform.
She says that she's MAGA, and I'm okay having conversations with MAGA, with people that aren't MAGA.
Well, you have to understand the area she lives in. She does
I get
live
that,
in
but we
one of the
kind of
bluest
got
areas of
cracked
the
on
country.
for talking about anything as soon as we open our mouths. She was okay talking to you,
I'll go back
but
and
we
listen.
weren't allowed to speak. Did you hear how
Okay.
many names she
Well,
called him? And then she
no
accused me of
names.
laughing. And
What
Carl,
names?
you got me in trouble. I didn't even do it.
Sorry, that was me. I couldn't help it.
Like, I don't know why, but she just, I guess I rubbed her the wrong way from the get go. And I'm sorry because I didn't mean to do that, but she just did not like me. So I muted my mic.
Yeah, but Carl, you do what you do. That's why people draw to your
Okay.
live
And I was
streams
defending
because
him.
you are who you
I'm
are.
just a.
And Carl is very. I tell you right now, guys, Carl is very passionate about
If
these
people
subjects.
take us wrong when we
And
get uppity up about it, like we just like to have fun with it, but you have to keep a lightheartedness about some things so it's not a downer all the time.
I agree. I like
That's it. That was
they're
it.
serious subjects, but I also like to joke around a little bit to keep it
Yeah.
lighthearted.
And
I
some
agree
people
with
take
that.
us the wrong way because of that. And then, but instead of getting to know us or having the conversation, we just get right off the rip. And that was just what I was saying. That was all. And I muted my mic for like 40 minutes so y'all could talk. I done did all kinds of things. I done cleaned half my kitchen.
I got up and went to the bathroom.
Me and Carl done had a whole fun, like we done had our whole show on text messages, and the chat caught on to it. That's why they were laughing. If don't get offended if the chat was laughing, they caught on to what we were doing because we couldn't talk on here. She kept shutting us up.
It's all it's all right.
Anyways,
Let's
get
just
back onto
roll
a
on.
different subject. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to encourage everybody to. I I find it on YouTube. There's a lot of speeches from this conference that was done called the Alliance for Responsible Citizenship. Jordan Peterson put this on. There's a lot of people, and and if anybody watched my live stream this morning, I played the speech of one of these
Thanks, Sarah.
individuals that lives in the UK, talking about how MAGA is changing the world.
Well, they are.
And I encourage everybody to go and find these speeches if you can find the whole event. I don't think you can find the whole event from beginning to end because there's a lot of interviews, a lot of speeches. But you'll find that we're not alone. It ain't just MAGA in America anymore. MAGA has spread across the
Well,
globe.
people also like to think that MAGA is Donald Trump. MAGA is not Donald Trump. MAGA is a movement that will be here long
No,
past
MAGA is
Donald Trump.
not.
Like long past Donald Trump. It is a movement that has started and you cannot stop us. And it could be 8, 12 years down the road. MAGA is still going to be here. It is not Donald Trump. We don't praise him. He's not our leader. Like so many people get that in their head. That's not what it is.
Yeah. Those who call us a cult are usually
As I
part of a
say, those
cult
who call us a
themselves.
cult usually are the ones who practice cult like practice. Like they would be more considered cult like than we are if you watch them.
What do you think? What do you
How
think,
is
Carl?
loving America a cult? How is not wanting my tax dollars sent overseas and waste it on something that doesn't affect my life in any way. How is that a cult? Explain that to me. How is not wanting my child to be subjected to my daughter to be subjected to a man in a female's bathroom? How is that? How is that a cult? I call that common sense. I call that.
And that's
Yep.
what MAGA is. That's
Yep.
what
I
MAGA
call that.
is. MAGA is a wave
Yep.
of
I
common
call that
sense.
loving my country. I call that loving my fellow countrymen. That's not a cult. What a cult is the nutcases that are out there telling you you can't have beef or you shouldn't have more kids because it's bad for the environment. Now that's a cult. A cult is telling you that you should have open borders because you're a racist if you don't. That's a cult. Sorry.
Yeah. A cult is spending taxpayer money on studying how to keep cows from farting as much for climate change. That's a cult.
Yeah, yeah. You know?
That is crazy. I mean, and I tell you what, they are having they are not as unified as they once was. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. They are falling apart at the seams. And I think it's because just by the trending that I was talking about, the Google trending, they are, they're like rats, or roaches even. You turn the light on in a room full of roaches. What's roaches do? They scatter everywhere. It's every man for themselves. These people are jumping off the boat. The boat is sinking. So they used to be lockstep with each other. That's one thing I can say about the Democratic Party. They stuck to the message. They hardly ever had anybody that was dissent from the rest of the pack. But slowly but surely that's changing right now because the money's running out. Because a lot of these people got paid to be in lockstep with the rest of the party.
Where'd Brandy go? She keeps on disappearing.
I'm right
What
here.
are you What are you doing? Yeah, I mean, the Democrats are definitely fractured, but don't nobody should fool themselves. Oh my
Riley.
God, are they eating a small child? Nobody should be fooled though. The Democrats are tough, gritty people. You know, they might be fractured, but they're reorganizing. They're planning on how to organize and message for the midterms. And that's why I always say MAGA, we the people, need to continue to register voters, continue to spread our message, continue to touch as many people with whatever Brandy's drinking we can.
Yeah, the left is dangerous.
What are you drinking?
I mean, when I say they're fracturing,
What?
I mean, they will pull together and try to figure it out because they'll do anything it takes to stay in power. Because if they're in power, they're not going to get prosecuted for the stuff that they do. For any group of people that allowed a southern border invasion that they allowed to change the entire uh, atmosphere, probably not the correct word, landscape of the country when it comes to voting base and economic areas changing and crime and lowering the standards of the school system even lower than it already is
Mm.
because they come from a lot of uneducated areas of the world and so they got to do some catching up. But any group of people that allowed that southern border invasion to not care about America being what we are. What are you laughing at now?
Brandy chugging whatever she's drinking. I'm sorry, dude.
I'm not even chugging it. Like
I
I'm
just
sipping,
saw her picking
but
up it.
I was listening. I didn't want to interrupt. I'm just
But
listening.
yeah, so that's all I got to say about that. They are right. You're all right, Carl. They're going to change message
Yeah.
or whatever it takes to stay in power, but they're dangerous.
Listen, why are they so mad about the Board of Education when we've been getting our ever since probably before the No Child Left Behind, I'm sure, but I was younger then. But we rank so low. Our kids cannot write cursive. Our kids cannot tell a time on a regular clock, we aren't. They're not taught trades. They got rid of all the trades and the extracurricular activities and real life situations, and they've replaced it with so much crap. And they're mad at us because we want to revamp that. They act like oh, Board of Education's gone. Schools are going to shut down. No, we're revamping it to make our kids smarter. Why
Well,
is that a problem with people?
here's the thing with the Board of Education. It's not needed. Federal funding for
No,
schools can be paid for through another department. The Board of Education, it's a proven fact that the Board of Education was supposed to be that the entire country was supposed to have an even curriculum at all their schools, and it was supposed to be federally regulated. Well, we all know that it depends on what area you live in,
absolutely.
what county you're in, whatever state you live in, that your
Some things are better
education
run by
level
the
changes
state.
by the area that you live in. So the Board of Education is not needed. It is a stupid department. It hasn't been needed for a very
Well, it
long
didn't
time.
work, obviously.
It doesn't work. It has nothing to
It
do with
doesn't. It's
what the
how, I
original
mean,
plan
it's,
was for.
there are things that even when I was in school, we were taught how to balance. I mean, I know it wouldn't be relevant today, but in my time it was relevant, and they made sure we had home ec. And I don't care if you was boy or girl, you learned how to cook, you learned how to sew, you learned how to balance a checkbook, you learned how to do all kinds of things. We had to take typing class. What would be relevant to these kids that they should be learning? They're not teaching them any skills. They're they've gotten so far off to that these a lot of teachers, oh, I'm a math teacher, I'm a history teacher. They're so busy trying to tell who they're married to and who they're sleeping with and who's progressive and what their pronouns are that they're not even teaching the subject, and it's the bare minimum our kids are even being given. So, and they're still not giving them that. Every state should decide what needs done in their state, and if they're falling off, they can adjust it. It's not up to the federal government to check every single state. If state by state by state was keeping a track of their schools, they can pinpoint where the problem is and fix it. That blows my mind that people are mad
I don't
about
see
that.
how anybody
It
could be
just
mad
blows my
about that.
mind.
I mean,
It blows my mind. I stuck my son in a trade school after he started kindergarten in one school, went all the way to ninth grade. He had dyslexia. He had problems. When he first found out about it, they had tutoring. They decided to rebuild the school one summer. Because they rebuilt the school, they got rid of all the tutors and all the extracurricular activities and everything else. He fell behind. And in 10th grade, I stuck him in a trade based school that was not a what you call a normal school. He graduated with honors a year early and got a welding degree. He was about to flunk out and quit school if I would have kept him in just regular public school. But the trade based school saved his butt.
yeah.
And it's not a normal school, and it's not funded by federal government or anything else. We had to pay for him to go there, but
Well,
it
it's
saved him.
smaller classes, right? And that's the
Yeah.
thing. That's what I was
Yeah.
talking about.
I mean, they still had like 30 kids a class, but they taught everything. You could be a chef, you could be a gardener, you could be a
Yeah.
woodworker, you could be a mechanic, you could be a welder. There's
Yeah.
like 70 trades you could learn in the school.
How can they argue over against school choice? How can that be a
Yes,
honest
parents
argument?
should teach their kids most of that, but some in this day and age and this society, a lot of parents are two parents working outside of the home. So just to survive. So in most cases, if you have two parents, if you're lucky enough to have two parents in a home, which is a low rated two, and both of them have to work, how much time do you have to teach your kids that outside of school? You're sending them to school to learn. They're going to school to not learn the right things at this point. They're not learning at all. They're being pushed upon with what's trending. And every few years it changes. And they're not learning the curriculum. Like it where did the curriculum go? It's not there anymore.
That's where MAGA has to force it.
That's where they lose their funding because they get paid per student.
See, we're not a minority anymore, people. We're more
Like
than
everybody, I'm sure
77
a lot of
million
parents
strong.
would love to stay at home and teach their kids, but in this economy, you can't afford that.
Now, most there,
Why
I,
am I a
I'm
part of the problem?
hold on. I don't really like homeschooling as the way
I'm
they
still
do
a
it
part of the
today.
problem.
It's not the way it used to be done.
I
Today, it's
homeschooled my
completely
children
different.
until that to a certain part, but go
But
ahead.
I disagree of how they regulate homeschooling now. But beside the point,
They don't.
that's another subject by itself.
They don't. Them
Uh,
kids are sat in front of a computer, and most parents don't even keep track of it, and the kids don't even do the work
that's my
a
point.
lot of the time.
Exactly, right there. It's
Yeah.
kind of like the same thing as federal employees. It's remotely done, and you can't really control to force the point on them actually sitting there and buckling down and doing the work
Like,
because
I know that
you
she's
can't
probably a part
regulate
of
it
the
at home.
educational system, but I'm not the problem. I busted my ass and tried multiple different things to get my kids the education they needed, and
You
it took
sound like
me
the problem.
multiple different things. Well, Kimberly called me the problem.
Uh,
She can call me the problem and tell me that now I'm drunk. That Kimberly's been rude to me since you brought her up on screen, and she's continuing in the comments.
what's wrong
You've
with
been missing it
vocational?
the
All
whole
right,
time.
hold on.
Hold on. What's wrong with vocational education?
It's called vocational education, and I'm the problem.
You know,
Or
that's
I'm
how
part
I
of it.
got through high school.
My
It,
my dad went through high school and then stopped and worked 3 jobs and raised 4 kids, 3 that wasn't his, and still busted his ass and was running FedExes across the whole East Coast. So I don't want to hear about what education can do.
yeah,
If
they
you're in
don't.
the right spot and the right person can teach you, but the right people are not teaching anymore.
You're blowing my cover, Brandy. I always tell everybody I'm just an old mechanic.
You are, because look what this economy of Joe Biden and them did to somebody who was you are
I
so
know, but
successful.
they don't
And
realize I
guess
ran
what?
an entire department for FedEx.
Guess what? And with Democrats in office, you got stripped of everything that you worked your whole life for.
Yeah,
Right.
I had to. That's
So I
another.
don't want to hear none of
That's a
that. When I get
subject for
passionate about
another
that stuff,
live
don't
stream.
get mad about it. It's just my life experience, Kim.
Well, I homeschooled most of my kids. They went to cyber school,
I don't need to look
and
you up. I'd have to use Google.
and it worked for my kids, you know. But then again, we were engaged parents that made sure they were doing their work. And the cyber school they went to was very very good. My daughter actually graduated from cyber school, went on to be a successful nurse. So you know, it
They,
works for some people. It doesn't work for others. But the school choice,
they had a 2 parent home,
yes,
didn't they?
yes, they did. And
A lot of kids don't have that. I was lucky enough to have that. A lot of
they
kids
do,
don't have
and
that.
that's part of the problem. Is the fact that our society has created a situation where two parents have to work. They have to have two careers, and a lot of times, what
Hmm.
happens is
I'm
the
not
kids
listening
come
to it.
home from school, and what do? They go right to Xbox. They go right to social media. The parents are focused on their jobs. Nobody sits down and has dinner together. Nobody sits down and asks how your day went. And the difference between and you know Vivek and Elon Musk got a lot of shit for saying, you know, American kids don't focus on the right things. You know, they're going to soccer practice.
Yes, these kids are up their butt constantly, and then the left will criticize them for having their kids there. They are
Yep.
very involved with their
But
children,
if you look at
and that's
if you
bad
look
too.
at say an Indian family or an Asian family, their kids after school are at a Cumin Learning Center, a Sullivan Learning Center, learning math, while our kids, most American kids, are in the basement playing Xbox on social media.
On TikTok by
Yep.
design,
So,
literally by design
yep.
on those
All
buttons.
Vivek was saying is that Americans, we need to prioritize our kids more towards education. Sports are great. Sports are really good for kids.
Wait,
It teaches structure, but you also need that educational factor.
oh honey,
You
I'm
know,
fine. This is my normal.
Yeah,
They
it
told
is.
me to tell somebody told me to breathe, honey. This is my normal.
She's high
If
energy.
somebody got to me, you're gonna know it. And if this is just me,
Yeah, she's
this is
high
my
energy.
normal. This is just me. Nobody got to me. Nobody riled me up. I'm just like I rub people wrong because they can't take the truth. And if they can't take the truth, that's on them. Like I've done been told to Google her and everything else. I guess she's real superior to us lower class or whatever she's trying to insinuate. Like Carl, Daddy,
Cheryl,
go in there and Google her.
I
Tell me
don't
all
really
about
see that
her.
happening. Cheryl, I don't. I see MAGA basically taking over the Republican Party.
I'm sorry that you had a special ed daughter or and anything that you've went through, Kimberly. Nobody was here to disrespect you. You started flying off the handle on us for no reason at all. And you have continued in the comments for no reason at all. I don't understand. Like, I'm completely flabbergasted at why she does not like me and Coral. But she just come in
You
with
know,
this at us for no
Kim,
reason.
or Brandy,
And she keeps
it,
doing it in the comment.
it's
And I'm like,
because
it makes me laugh.
James is so handsome. How could
I
you be
mean,
mean to
hey,
James?
I've been told I look like my daddy in a female version.
Oh, look at that.
No, it's just,
You know,
I guess it's handsome in a guy version and
that's
not in a
what it
woman's. Huh?
is. You know,
No, I'm just joking.
James, look
But
at him. He's dashing there.
Hey,
look, no one rises to low expectations.
I'm Switzerland in this.
Is she calling me dumb? Do I have low expectations? Look, I don't even know how to take that because it's so hard to take somebody's comment in text because you don't hear the tone of their voice. So when somebody writes a certain thing, it could go one way or the other. But from her, I'm guessing it's the other. If it's at me, because she just didn't like me from the get go. My dog, I guess, super offended her. Us talking about the dogs, whatever that was, she got stupid offended.
I think it was my fault because I started talking about the Pope.
You said you were training dogs and you
I
got her
did.
off. Yeah, something happened and
Well,
she just was like,
I'm glad it
no.
all got pushed on you.
You listened for minutes to me. What did I do to take her down for minutes, you guys?
I don't.
I I did not say anything that took her down for
You
minutes.
realized,
Guys, I guess I was hearing things wrong because I was engaged in the conversation.
You were so engaged in the conversation. No, you're like, this is a page. We want to talk to everybody. So we don't want to shut nobody down, Daddy. That is all great, but some people
And I don't
don't
have a
deserve
problem.
that courtesy.
I don't have a problem when subjects change on a dime because I
No,
tend to
she did.
ramble. When I'm by
She
myself
did.
just talking on my channel, I
She was
tend to
mad.
ramble, and one thing will remind me of something else that I'll start talking about that'll be different from the subject, but it might have something closely related to the subject. But I eventually always get it to circle back to the original point of view when I
Any?
ramble. So I don't mind changing subjects
What's up,
for a
baby girl?
few minutes to
Oh,
give a
wait, my
break to
dog's
the
I'm
here.
not gonna
conversation. It
lie.
doesn't bother
I'm
me.
not gonna lie.
Listen, anybody in an adult conversation knows that a normal conversation, it's called flowing. You don't like, I'm going to talk about this. You can't get off topic. No, it's a flowing conversation. You can get off, you come back, you find your way
I'm not
back.
gonna lie.
That's how conversation flows
I did that on
naturally.
purpose just to piss her off.
He probably did. And
I
see, I'm
did.
being accused of being the devil in this, and it
I
was Coral
did.
the whole time.
I did.
And I'm getting
I'm
vitriolized
sorry.
because it was
I can
Coral.
read people's personalities.
Coral was texting me
I can
the
read
things he
people's
was doing, and I got
personalities,
blamed for
and I
it.
knew that if I just threw the Pope in there, it would just
And
piss
I
her
took
off,
it.
and I did
I
it.
just muted my
I'm
mic and I took
sorry,
it.
Kim. I'm like that, man. You cannot take me
Hey,
serious.
see, Kim, it wasn't me,
I
it was
am
him.
I am
I'm
I
sorry.
am like that. Don't take me serious ever. I joke around too much, and
I really didn't understand though when it very first started getting rude. There was no reason for it, and that's all fine. Can we get on to a different subject about something that matters? Can
Yeah,
we?
yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to spend too much time on that one for too much
Well, I
longer.
was going to
It's
say
been
when
like an hour.
Carl was talking about Vivek and Elon being misunderstood,
They are
uh,
definitely misunderstood.
I was going to jump in there and say Vivek Ramaswamy will be the next governor of the state of Ohio.
hallelujah.
Yes, he will.
Yeah.
And I will be here. Yes, he will. Now, listen, how many of you guys think that? I mean, I think it's too early to tell. I know they tried to trip Trump up in interviews, and Trump's not as dumb as he was. Like, he was fresh meat coming into politics in 2016. He's had 4 years of presidency and 4 years of them throwing every dagger at him they could. When he comes into this, I think he's very polished now in his face. They're like, "Oh, are you going to endorse Vance for president?" They're like, he's like 5 weeks into presidency, 6 weeks. What is it? 6 weeks, maybe something. And he's like, "No," and they're like, "See, he don't even trust his vice president." It's nowhere near time for the next president. He's not. He's smart enough now not to fall for them tricks and be like, "Yes, I." And plus, he was burnt real bad by his last vice president, so until it comes up to the time, he's smarter than that now. But I
Yeah, but
think
the difference is Brandy
Vance,
JD Vance
Vivek,
is from
they would
Ohio.
all be good presidents.
J.D. Vance grew up in a poor situation just like we did.
Where's Vivek from?
Vivek, well, he lives in Cincinnati. I mean,
Yeah.
so I'm
Yeah,
pretty.
they're both Ohio boys.
I think he's first generation immigrant.
Vivek is a quite wealthy man too.
Well, yeah, he's a billionaire or
Yes.
almost a
See, this is
billionaire.
where this is what separates Vance and Vivek. If you ever watched Hillbilly Elegy, which,
Yeah, but
oh
they're
my
best
gosh,
friends, Brandy. You know that, right?
yeah,
They
oh I
become
know,
best friends in
yeah,
college.
but
So
if you watch Vance's upbringing compared to Vivek's upbringing, they couldn't be
yeah,
worlds apart, and they are
different
best
cultures.
friends.
Yeah, different cultures.
They're both very stand-up, patriotic citizens. They would both make awesome presidents.
Yeah,
Awesome
but
presidents.
Vivek's going to be
Eventually,
our governor until
eventually,
he can't. That's all I'm saying.
can
Vivek, governor
we
of
just
Ohio. Yes,
yeah, we can afford governors and mayors.
we got to not be a welcoming
And please,
state
please, for the love
for
of
all
God,
these.
people, don't think that we won in November and it's over. Don't lose your head. When it comes up in 2 years to vote for the House and Senate, do not let us lose it. Please, for the love of God, don't get complacent and get comfortable at your house. Like, no, they got it. There's so many people voted for Trump. I can stay home. They got this. Don't do that. That's how we end up losing the freaking House or the Senate every daggone time.
What scares me the most, Brandy, is the rhinos trying to stall Trump's agenda,
I mean, they're going to
and that
try.
and that to me is what's going to cause people to become complacent. They're going to think they're going to think my vote doesn't matter. I voted for Trump. We did all
Every
this
vote
work,
matters.
and I say that on all my live streams. We're not done. Take your victory lap. Great. The hard work is still ahead of us, right? So
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is a
This is like the
multiple
preview of what should be
year
happening 2 years from now.
war. Basically, this fight is going to go on for multiple years till we get serious change that will last. These changes that Trump is making is all executive orders. Until it goes through Congress and gets, ratified, they're still just executive orders, which the next president, if it by chance might be a Democrat,
Does
will
what
all
Joe
get
Biden
wiped
does and
away
wipes them
by the
all out.
swipe of a
Yeah.
pen. So this is a fight
Yeah, we
that's going to
cannot get
last for
complacent.
many
We
years.
cannot get comfortable. We cannot be like, oh, we got them, best political comeback ever. No, we have to fight just as hard in 2 years and in 4 years as we fought this last time. We can, if we even let up a little bit, they always have a chance to sneak in there and right out from under.
Hey, Cheryl, I don't hate if he took Soros's money to go to school. Basically, he graduated and looked at Soros and says, screw you, but thanks for the money. And now he's for us. I honestly believe that he's for us. He
Who's
could
Killer
be
Dave?
a grifter of huge,
I,
but I think I don't know. There's something about him I like.
Oh,
What?
sorry, it said Killer Dave. Nobody here knows what a rhino is. Are you talking about KillerCarl or is there a Killer Dave too?
KillerCarl.
there's a Killer
I
Dave.
was just, I
That's
was
my
like, yeah.
that's my name incognito. He
Okay,
just outed
YouTube.
me.
Republican and name
Since
only.
I'm
That's
so
what
high
Rhino
energy,
means.
I'm gonna take a 3 minute, 2 minute break. I'm gonna run in here real quick. I'll be right back. I'm gonna mute my mic.
All right, I'm punching out. Um, I'm
All right, Carl. I'm glad you
James,
came
I'm
in.
punching out. I gotta go to work tomorrow. All right, guys. Good night. Kim, don't take anything.
Thanks for
Yeah,
coming,
anytime,
Carl.
man. Don't take anything I said seriously, Kim. I just joke around. Like to have a little fun. Can't be too serious, right, James?
No, you got to have a little
Gotta
fun
mess
with it.
around with people.
These are some serious topics, but you got to have a
You
little
do,
fun
man.
with it.
All right, James. God bless you, brother. Love you. Tell Brandy I love her. Catch you all later. Remember, stay in the fight.
Absolutely. Guys, my original plan tonight was to slide on over to Rumble, but it's got so late. The conversation got so. Well, I felt like I was involved in the conversation. I don't know about everybody else. And not everybody can agree with the subject that is going to be spoken on or about. So, it is what it is. I want my platform to be welcoming to everybody. Whether you have an opinion that is different from mine, whether, and and you got to not pay attention to the chat. If you want to come on and give your opinion and the chat may be roasting you, that's their opinion too. Everybody has their opinion. They have the right to their opinion. But I don't want to block people, unless you're just being just disrespectful and not really part of the conversation. You just want to call people names. That I won't tolerate. But if you want to come on here and have a good conversation, you've seen you don't have to be on camera. You just come on here instead of type the stuff in. You verbally can have a conversation, which I think that furthers the conversation along a lot easier and more in a more cohesive way of doing it instead of trying to speak through typing. Because me, like my typing sucks. So I would never be. I'm not very good. I try to engage in chat at other people's live streams, but I really suck at it. By the time I get something typed in, they've already changed the subject. So, saying that, guys, I don't know what else to add to this conversation tonight. I mean, we kind of jumped around a little bit there. I encourage you guys to watch my live streams that I did this morning. Some of them are on YouTube. Matter of fact, both of them are on YouTube. One on Empty Pockets Garage and the other one on Jimmy Pockets. And you'll find them on Rumble on Empty Pockets Podcast. They're about this conference that Jordan Peterson had this week. Very fascinating speeches. I was very engaged with them. And it just proved to me that MAGA is winning. The rest of the world is paying attention. We're starting to be MAGA is a leader in the world now, where America is always supposed to have been the leader, and we haven't led for a while now, but looks like we're back, baby. Kim, sometimes you have to risk offending people to get your point of view across. It's okay. Not everybody will appreciate your point of view, but you have the right to speak your point of view. So don't worry about it. You're good. You're welcome back anytime you want to come. And I hope you take that invitation. I don't want you to think that you wasted your time coming on here, because I assure you did not. Because I like the fact that you're in the fight there with the Loudoun County School District there. I was paying attention to that when it was happening. I remember watching it. I was actually watching it when they carried that parent out, drug him out of there, just because he wanted to go in there and voice his grievance against his child being SA'd in the bathroom. That angered me. And then they wrote that letter, and Merrick Garland decided to make parents domestic terrorists if they raised their voice or had something derogatory to say to a school official.
You know that none of us agree with that, right? Like, obviously, that was a
Yeah, I believe.
massively huge, disgusting event.
Yeah, I believe. I know she understands that, and that we're on her side with that.
No, we were saying we were
And
on her side, and that's when the rudeness started for no reason, is what I'm saying. You know that, like me and Carl, we're not sitting here making a joke of that situation. Obviously,
no.
like
You're not.
we
And Carl likes to have a good time.
and you know
But
that I would
Carl,
respect that. Like, that situation hits home for me more than most. So I definitely do not take that as a joke. That is a super serious, disgusting situation, and I will show up and march and fight for that all day long.
yeah, I was going to say, as much as you guys had this back and forth tonight, I guarantee that Brandy right here, if you wanted us to show up and give support and protest against this at a school meeting, she'd be right there with us,
all day
right there
long.
by your side, yelling at these effers,
I might have to be
telling
kept
them
in
how
check there
they
because
are.
I might do more than you because I'm very passionate about those things. Get it, RJ,
But
just do it.
it's getting late. I did not make it over to Rumble tonight, so I'm going to try to do it next Sunday. But I keep warning anybody who is subscribed to me and comes on my live streams through my Empty Pockets channel, Empty Pockets Garage. Uh, it's within 30 days. It's no longer going to be. So you can follow me on Jimmy Pockets if you want to stay on YouTube. Or I encourage every one of you, if you don't go to Rumble right now and follow anybody on Rumble, come to Rumble. Give me a follow on Empty Pockets Podcast because there we can have an unfiltered conversation that's not regulated by the YouTube verbal police.
Freedom of
Because
speech.
I've had to deal with that a few times just by voicing my opinion on these live streams. I don't want to have to deal with that. I will deal with it because I do like the fact that I do like YouTube. YouTube is where I got my start. I never planned on doing what we're doing right here. I was a car content creator, uh, but it is what it is. And, life, you never know where you're going to go. Life has all kinds of avenues you will go down, and you don't know it's going to happen till it happens. Uh, but it's been an interesting ride, and I hope it continues on. Yeah, Kim, you can, like I said, Jimmy Pockets. I'll still be doing these live streams just like this on the Jimmy Pockets. I can run two channels at a time to do a live stream. Right now, I'm running both YouTube channels,
Oh, I didn't know you was
but
on
I'm going
both
to
of
eventually
yours.
run. But I'm going to run it on Jimmy Pockets and my Rumble channel after 30 days because I'm no longer going to do it on my Empty Pockets Garage channel. I encourage everybody, if you're watching me on that channel, to subscribe to the other channels. But you really will enjoy Rumble. Rumble is a
I
wonderful
know a lot of
place.
people are hesitant to. I don't know why, but a lot of people are. They're so used to the main, like it's either Facebook, X, or YouTube because it's the top three places to go, and they get used to the platform. Rumble is such a different platform, but not like it's like YouTube without the censorship. You can go over there and you can have these conversations just like we're having here, but your videos don't get taken down. You don't have to watch the word you say. You don't have to put a different letter in front of a word to make it sound different or you get banned. Like it's the same. You guys should all try Rumble. If you're
Yeah,
not on Rumble, try it. That's all you can do. It's free. Just try it.
and the difference between Rumble and YouTube is like I have a YouTube channel that I film myself doing fabrication and car repair, and I have a channel that people follow me on, subscribe to it. That's not really what Rumble's all about. Rumble's all about live streaming podcast format. It's not about
Facebook and
somebody
Rumble.
just filming themselves in their garage at home. That's not what Rumble's about. Rumble's about topics,
And
conversation.
you can still come
These
on
live
YouTube. You
streams.
don't have to leave YouTube to go on Rumble. But when you're on a live,
No, you
especially
don't.
if you want to interact on a live, it's so much easier to do it on Rumble's platform because God forbid, like if you get in a really serious conversation, words start flowing. You're not thinking about censoring yourself. And if you slip up, you can have a 3 hour live get taken down because of one slip up. On Rumble, you don't have that.
See, and that's what I've had to deal with on YouTube. I've had to
Yeah.
remove parts of my
So
live
it's
stream,
not that
or
YouTube's
else
bad, but Rumble, if you're going to be involved in the live stream, Rumble's a safer space to do
yeah,
it in.
and see, you can come on Rumble and like we did tonight,
Yeah.
and I can give you a link, and you can log into my Rumble channel just like logging into this channel,
Yeah.
and we can have a conversation verbally.
And if you already have a Rumble
But
channel, then it should be real easy to just like it. You can use YouTube for everything else, but if you want to be involved in, it's just a better platform to be involved in, where you're not so censored, you're not so hushed. You don't have to be so worried about since when you're trying to worry about what words you're going to say. Your thoughts can't always come out the way you want them to, and sometimes it comes off a way you don't want it to because you have to censor your words and find other words. You don't have to do that on Rumble.
yeah, and to be monetized, I'll give you a quick rundown on this, guys, in case you don't know this. I'm monetized on
We
my car
understand
channel
that.
because I have so many subscribers. The thing is with that is YouTube takes 30% of everything that is revenued through your channel. And that includes super chats. If somebody does a super chat with you, they take 30. Somebody gives me $5 for a super chat. YouTube takes 30% of that right off the top.
Yeah,
Rumble,
that's stupid.
you get almost 100% of everything, and to where YouTube, you got to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. On Rumble, it is 100. They call them followers, not subscribers. You got to have 100 followers, and then you're part of the partner program to be monetized. And you only have to do 30 hours a week because it is a live stream podcast format. Rumble is to be monetized, which is a far lower bar
What are you doing, baby girl?
for a person who does this full time, which is what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to do it this daily now instead of once a week. So Rumble is a better place for the person that's trying to be the content creator. So that's why I hope you guys come over. I need like 65 more followers to hit my first 100.
I mean, if you really support
And
somebody,
then
you should go support them on all platforms. Even if you're not on there constantly, it doesn't hurt to go support them and
hey,
follow.
I appreciate any I appreciate any support, and I got some very loyal people that log in every time they see me go live. I appreciate every one of them. Uh, they are loyal. Uh, Anybody who engages in chat to me is because there's far more people that watch and so few people that actually engage in the chat on these live streams. It's kind of crazy. You think more people would want to be engaged, but a lot of people just like to sit
I'd say
back
a
and
lot of
watch.
people like to be in the background. They don't want people to know that they're watching, so they just chill in the shadows.
And this, like tonight, we went 3 hours, over 3 hours. I know that's a long time to watch somebody. That's why I was hoping to try to keep these a little shorter, so people won't lose interest, because I don't want them to lose the message because the message took so long to get out there.
Nah,
Because a lot of people don't have. I'm not Joe
I don't
Rogan.
think people got
I don't
bored tonight.
expect it. Well, I don't expect people to be that engaged with me for 3 hours at a time every week. So, because I know I'm not Joe Rogan, I'm not a professional. I struggle for the right words a lot
Joe Rogan started somewhere.
because I'm. Yeah, but he's famous. I'm a nobody.
You're not a nobody.
But well, I'm just some
How
old
many people are
mechanic that
following you now?
opines 24,000
On one
something.
page. What about the others? They just haven't hopped over yet.
I got 700 on the Jimmy Pockets, and I just started the Rumble like last week, or actually first part of it was first part of last week. So I got like 30 some
You know how long
followers
it takes
there.
people to get up to hundreds on most platforms?
Yeah, but like KillerCarl, my man's got like 30,000 plus.
I guarantee he's been at
He
this for
has
a lot
a
longer.
large following. So I don't ever expect to get that high, but it is what it is.
The longer you're here, the more followers you get.
Yes, Stephanie. You're one of the people that I see a lot. You log on just about any time you get a chance to when I go live, and you engage in all the chats.
Who is it?
That's what I'm saying. You're one of the people that I really enjoy doing this with. You got people like Rusty Nuts.
Yeah, I seen him on here.
And when he's yeah, Rusty Nuts. You got Stephanie. You
Me and
got
Stephanie were talking.
you got
Cheryl was talk.
Fish.
Cheryl's been talking a lot to us.
Yeah, like it just depends. They can't be on
Fish
every live,
mix.
but when they're there, they engage. That's the good
Yeah.
thing about it. They engage.
Which is great because even you don't have to really have a lot of
Okay.
followers, but it's when people engage, it boosts the algorithm, so it still helps. Even just getting off of here and make
Okay.
sure you like the video if you're on YouTube, and that helps too.
Okay. Hey, hang on a
Go
second,
ahead.
Brandy. Yeah, Kim. My Rumble channel is Empty Pockets Podcast.
Yeah,
We dropped the garage on there because it's not about a car content, but everybody and why my other channel on YouTube is called Jimmy Pockets, because during the original Haitian issue when I did a video and everybody's seen that I had so many millions of people that watched that video that everybody thought I was monetized and they thought I was making bank on that. So they started calling, instead of Empty Pockets, they started calling me Jimmy Pockets because they said I wasn't broke anymore. What they did not realize is I was not monetized. I did not get monetized for another 2 months after all that. So I made a whole $148 off that entire deal with all the multi millions of views on those videos.
Yeah, when we started the Rumble,
So
it was what was it? It was Empty Pockets featuring Jimmy Pockets and Patriot Mama because we were supposed to do it together. It took so long to figure out how to go live on there. We were trying our hearts out, you guys.
right,
We really were. Something wasn't
I
working
figured it
right. He
out.
figured it out, which I was messing with my
Well, this is
house.
actually this channel is under the email that you started. This is
Yeah,
your
we were supposed
account,
to be Empty Pockets
right?
featuring Jimmy Pockets. And I'm Patriot Mama. I used to have a very big following on TikTok before TikTok booted me because it wasn't nothing that I even did. I know some people were like, oh, I wonder why. Nope. There is a lot of people on TikTok that get in mass groups, and once they see a page, they have all their people come report it, and it doesn't matter if you did it or not, you just get taken down. Which is what happened right in the
Because
height of
you're
over town having attention.
it's because you're a
I have
troublemaker.
another page and I haven't pushed it at all. There's probably maybe 30 people that follow it. I could go get all my followers back. I haven't even attempted. I rarely get on TikTok.
Kim, hold on, Brandy. Kim, I am not. I'm running on both my YouTube
Yeah.
channels
So,
tonight. I was going to switch over at 8 o'clock to Rumble, but we were involved in a conversation, and I did not want to because I'd have to stop and log off to my YouTube channels and log into Rumble because I can't run 3 channels at a time. I can only run 2. So I would have had to kill the feed on these 2 and then start the Rumble. I did not want to do that because we were engaged in a conversation and I wanted to keep it going. So I'll try to do that next Sunday. My plan is to run it an hour on my YouTube channel and then the rest of the time on the Rumble channel so we can have an unfiltered conversation without having to worry about the YouTube overlords killing my stuff.
and honestly, this was impromptu for me tonight. Like I messaged you earlier, and I thought you said that you went live at 8, and it was like 6:59, and you was like, "I go live at 7," and I was like,
I
"Give
was
me
going to
20
do Rumble
minutes."
at 8.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I was going to do
I
Rumble
haven't
at
been
8
on a
o'clock,
live
but
since
we didn't
election
get
night
there.
because all the things that were happening and just like things spiraled. And I've been trying to get my house in order. And like, I get really bad seasonal depression. It's a big fight for me every single year. And all my peeps are in Florida right now. So I'm in a house by myself, which does not help. So I'm trying to do the things that I've been taught to do to like get back into things, and yeah, I'm just now getting back to myself. It takes me quite a while when my head spins out of control. It's not fun and it's not easy, but I've been through it so many times that now I just know the steps I take. It just takes time. So I will be back on more often now. It's just I had to get myself together. Happens every year.
All right. Saying that, Brandy, I'm going to end
Yep.
this. I've done plugged all my things. As Carl says, I never self promote myself good enough.
I'm not self promoting anything. They're gonna come at me hard.
I, some people call it whoring myself, which whatever they want to
Get
say,
it,
it's all right.
girl. Get it. No.
Give me a thumbs up. The thumbs up helps with
Oh,
algorithms. I did not know that till
I don't see a
recently,
thumbs up on here.
but yeah, there should be.
Oh, I'm
Well,
on
it will
Rumble
be.
or the real stream thing because I'm in the live with you, so I'm not on YouTube.
Yeah, you're in the
Yeah, I'll
live
have to
stream,
go
so
on
you won't
YouTube to
see
do
it.
it.
So
Yeah.
give me a thumbs up. Saying that, I'll probably do a segment tomorrow on one of my YouTube channels and Rumble. Every
I
day it
know.
will be Rumble. So if you're following me over on Rumble, you will see daily segments of things that, like this morning, I
Nine
woke up
likes. Come on, people.
and I was in such a good mood because I was watching some speeches from CPAC and from this conference that Jordan Peterson put on there. It put me in such a good mood. I wanted to get on here and talk about those things. So I started at 7:30 this morning,
I
Brandy.
bet.
I woke up at
You
4:30
know,
and
I don't go to bed till like 10 a.m.
but I started watching some speeches and I got so involved in them and I thought, man, I want to talk
Come on,
about
baby.
this. So I went live twice this morning talking about this stuff. So you will see me daily. And if you don't see me daily, if you don't watch those, you'll see me next
A lot of
Sunday.
people don't understand my
So until
schedule, but go ahead.
then, Brandy, I'm gonna say good
Good
night to
night.
you. Good night to everybody.
Good night,
Chat.
everybody.
This is James of Empty Pockets Garage. Till next time, I'm out of here. You still with me, Brandy?